Easily see your biggest snow.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Channel at the Update Desk. I'm Marshall Seas. We're following the first major winter storm of 1999, the first strike, so to speak. Blizzard conditions in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now, and a blizzard warning out for southwestern Michigan. We're going to detail all that for you coming up in just a moment. First, there's some breaking developments along the Gulf Coast, another extension of this storm with severe weather. And for those details, we'll take you to the studio now with Will Annan.
Thanks a lot, Marshall. Once again, we're looking at the worst of the weather right now, beginning to exit the New Orleans area. But now we have a brand new tornado warning out just east of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, near the Alabama state line for this cluster of storms, which have gone tornadic at the present time. Take cover immediately if you live in this region, just east of Hattiesburg in Greene County and in the southeastern corner of Mississippi. After that, watch out around Mobile and eventually Pensacola and much of southwestern Alabama. You'll be looking at more rough weather. We'll have more on this developing situation in just a few more moments, but now it's back to the Forecast Center at Marshall Seas. He has more on that big winter storm in the Midwest.
Thanks, Will. And it is a big winter storm, and it looks as though it's going to cause problems right through the week, especially with travelers, this being a peak of the holiday travel season for the New Year's. Snow has now moved into northern Wisconsin and Minnesota. Very strong winds out of the east. Those strong winds have been gusting to over 40 miles per hour, indeed 58 miles per hour at Meigs Field. That's right on Lake Michigan, just outside the McCormick Place in south of downtown Chicago. Milwaukee is also reporting strong winds, 22 in Chicago, 21 in St. Louis, and more cold air headed in from the west. We have wind chill advisories that have been issued for later tonight. Here are those winds, 52 latest at Milwaukee, 35 at Chicago's O'Hare Field, combining for a wind chill in Chicago at 10 below zero, 0 at St. Louis. We've watched those temperatures fall all morning long. We expect heavy snow tomorrow morning, possibility of 16 to 18 inches, maybe even more. Very difficult to measure, though, as you'll find out soon as we go to Jim Cantori in just a moment. First, we do have two Weather Channel specialists out there. One, Kristen Dodd in St. Louis, and the second, Jim Cantori in Chicago, braving the elements to bring you the latest conditions. First, we'll go to Jim Cantori in Chicago with conditions there. Morning, Jim.
Good morning, Marshall. No doubt in the midst here of a historic blizzard in Chicago, as we will see snowfall tallies at a foot or greater before all is said and done. Perhaps that's even a conservative estimate. But what has been the big problem here has been the wind. The wind continues to howl 30, 40 miles an hour, stronger than that. I mean, I'm standing here near the House of Blues, and I can hear the wind howling through the buildings, and you can just tell it's really, really blowing. And we've already had gusts at Meigs Field up to 60 miles an hour. The roads behind me are snow-packed. You can see that. You can see people are having trouble walking in all this. And you know what they're really concerned about, Marshall, is people that are holding their hoods over their heads like this to walk across the street, and they're not looking at oncoming traffic. There's been an accident so far as a result of that. So, folks, be careful if you're out there walking around. There are people out here. So the problems, again, at the airport are huge. At least 70% of the flights are canceled, both in and out. And no doubt, if you can really reroute those flights, folks, you need to do that, because that is a big problem here. You're going to see a plow go by me here in just a second, and as much as he is scraping, believe it or not, there is still slush on the road. So they're not having a very good luck here dealing with all this, even though there's some 700 plows out to deal with this storm. We'll keep you posted here from the windy and now blizzard-like city of Chicago. Right now, let's go back to you, Marshall.
Jim, as you mentioned, those winds creating a major problem, and as you mentioned earlier, Hollywood, or the circle at Hollywood, the curve to 71st Street, the outer drive is closed. Okay, and cut off from most of the airlines now, or United indicating don't go to the airport and delay your travel till about Tuesday if you can. There are travel problems too in St. Louis, and that's where we go now with Kristen Dodd. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, Marshall. At Lambert Field, TWA has canceled its morning flights, which will affect travel all across the country, as this is a major hub for TWA. A lot of folks switching planes in St. Louis if you fly TWA. At 11 o'clock local time, TWA will be assessing the situation, so as soon as we find out if the afternoon flights will be canceled or trying to leave, we will pass that along to you. Right now, we have light snow here in St. Louis, and as you mentioned, the wind chill now down to 0 with winds out of the west at this time. Overnight, freezing rain was the big problem, and it's very slick out on the roads and also on the sidewalks, and you may have problems even just getting into your car unless you parked it in your garage last night. This car has been out on the road all night long, and you can see it is thick. This guy's going to build some arm muscles when he comes out and finds his car later on today. Hopefully he can even get into the locks. I haven't, of course, checked those, but we are going to continue to watch this car, see if he gets out, and hopefully our car will be able to pull away from the curb when we're all said and done. Back to you, Marshall.
Kristen, thanks for that report. Unfortunately, south of you in Arkansas, many of the trees look like that. Power lines down. Thousands of people without electricity in that state as this freezing rain hit. Joining me now is Paul Cosin, our winter weather specialist here at the Weather Channel. Paul, looking at this radar picture.
Henry, Owen, Howard, Shelby, Clinton, and Rush.
And some cities: Anderson, Carmel, Crawfordsville, Peru, and Greencastle. If you're heading out and you want to know, well, what is the road like? Do not call the state police directly. Call these numbers instead.
232-8300. That number again is
232-8300.
And there's a 800 number for you to call as well on your screen. 261-7623. That's 1-800-261-7623.
And of course, just stop by the Wish TV website at www.wish-don't forget the dash TV.com, and you can get all the latest there as well. Speaking of all the latest.
Speaking of dashing.
Yes.
We'll want to dash over to the forecast center, but you don't want to dash around outside.
No, you know.
Indianapolis. Here's our top story at 6 o'clock.
2 days into the new year, central Indiana feels the winter of '99. The streets are a cold and lonely place. Plows took over last night and have been running nonstop since then. And even at the airport, no rest for weary travelers as weather forces delays and cancellations all over the Midwest.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 13 Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Stair. Jack Martin is on assignment tonight.
And I'm Amanda Rossiter this evening. We want to begin our special Snow Team 13 coverage tonight by telling you that we will be running cancellations and delays along the bottom of your screen throughout the newscast that we have tonight. And tonight, Governor O'Bannon declared a state of emergency for Indiana this afternoon.
The governor says the winter storm created dangerous conditions in all 92 Indiana counties. High winds and heavy snow closed hundreds of secondary roads. And travel along the interstates is down to a crawl tonight.
And tonight, almost adding insult to injury, the weather is only going to get worse for us.
Let's go right now to Bob Gregory for the latest forecast. Bob?
Before we start checking all these warnings, note right now in Indianapolis, it's 34 degrees. We're getting light rain. Down in Evansville to the south, the colder air has come in. It's 25 and snowing. That's a preview of the change to come. Winter weather warning remains for us here in central Indiana and the Indianapolis area until 9 o'clock this evening. We'll continue to get that sleet and freezing rain. Farther to the north, the same combination, sleet and freezing rain, but it has not stopped snowing there yet. Thus, the warning will remain throughout the evening hours tonight. So that's the setup up there. Take a look, if you will, this strong influx of moisture right out of the Gulf of Mexico, and with that heavy rains falling, then the sleet, the freezing rain, and then the snow in the far northern part of the state. So that's the picture of what's going on out there as far as the moisture is concerned right now. Here's our future track, and we'll show you what's going on by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, before we move this, let's go to our radar here. We'll give you an idea of what's going on our radar at the present time. Here's the metropolitan area of Indianapolis, and all around us now, with temperatures generally above freezing, we're getting this freezing rain. Its liquid form comes down and then freezes once it hits the surface, which of course is at freezing or below. So that's freezing rain as opposed to the sleet, which was a frozen droplet when it did come down. So we've had all of these combinations, and still some light snow is mixed in with this. So that's what's going on. Now our future track, the area of low pressure that is bringing all of this mess, should be up near the Fort Wayne area by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is still snow. The circulation around this, that's what putting the temperature at 25 and snowing at Evansville now. And as that continues to move out, our winds will become more westerly. So we'll have considerable blowing and drifting yet, even though this is a wet, heavy snow. West winds 15 to 25, but you can see by Monday night, finally, most of the snow is moved northward. We'll be left with hopefully just some cloudy skies here and an opportunity to clean up a little bit. That's basically the scenario of what's coming. We'll talk more about all of this for you a little bit later on in the weather. But right now, let's get back to Amanda and John.
All right, thank you, Bob. Tonight, state police shut down 100 miles of highway through 5 Indiana counties.
I-65 is now closed from State Road 28 in Clinton County all the way north to Toll Road 8090 in Lake County. Eyewitness News reporter Rich Reeve joins us now from the newsroom with more on this massive shutdown. Rich?
Amanda, we've been traveling up and down I-65 for most of the day. You'll find the occasional dry patch, but pretty much you'll find thick layers of ice on the roadway, like this thick. Police are telling people to stay off the roadway tonight. Nobody is going anywhere on I-65 north of Lafayette. State police, citing the icy conditions, are shutting the highway down all the way to Chicago. Drivers today were spinning their wheels after veering off the roadway. Abandoned cars litter the roadside, some buried in 3-foot-deep snows. But it's the frozen rain and sleet that are coating roadways with a layer of ice that looks perfectly safe until you begin sliding. Casey Briggs' car flew out of control, heading southbound on I-65. Not far away, a second driver slid off into the median.
I guess we caught a big patch of ice, and the car just started doing like a 360 and flew into us off the bank of the road. And that's how we are now.
Tell me how you think this compares with 78.
It's just as bad. I wasn't up here on the interstate or anything, but over there, everything was shut down. You couldn't get anywhere. At least now we got some vehicles moving, so if we get them off the interstate, we'll have her made.
And at that intersection of I-65 and State Road 26, authorities say they're going to be blocking that for at least the next night or so. And a lot of people have been diverted and going to the hotels in that area. Those hotels are all booked solid because they had a basketball tournament in Lafayette they were supposed to have. So they're basically saying don't even try to get out on the highway tonight. Reporting live from the newsroom, Richard Reeve, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Road crews have been out all day trying to keep the streets clear, but they're having a tough time keeping up.
Eyewitness News reporter Jack Martin is at the city's salt barn right now, kind of ground zero for that effort. He joins us now with the latest on road conditions. Jack?
Well, actually, John, we're at one of 3 garages, about 80 trucks in the fleet, plus a few more when you consider the contractors. And the trucks just rolled out of here in the second of what is only 2 shifts. These drivers, about 80 of them in total, have been working around the clock, 12 hours at a time. The mayor was just here over the last hour and a half, and he got a status report from the drivers and the supervisors, as well as giving them a pep talk.
So tell me, we have more CDL, we have more drivers than we've ever had before, right? Because you can cross-train something.
Right, because of the cross-training, and we got more people because we're using other sections like solid waste, traffic, weeds and levee, and stuff like that. So we got different divisions that we bringing folks in, and they all happen. We're on the 12-hour mode, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., and it's working real good.
But this has been an ongoing thing. How do you cope with that mentally when you're out there doing your job?
when you have your time off, you need to get plenty of rest, eat some warm foods, and just take your time.
We have a group of employees who have really take this as their major responsibility. They've been training for it and improving each year, and the technology's better this year, and the teamwork's better, and so we have more equipment, pieces of equipment, more workers with probably better spirit than ever before.
We've been waiting for it so that we can show not only the mayor, the taxpayers and citizens that we're more than qualified and able to do our jobs. And I think come Tuesday morning, the citizens going to be proud of us.
Well, for them to win the war Tuesday morning, they have to keep winning these battles, and tonight's going to be another major battle. And you could see a lot of what's been occurring as slush. Pretty soon it's going to start freezing up as the temperature starts dipping. We've been pretty lucky that it's been raining in a sense. It's good news, bad news, because in one sense the rain is forcing the snow to be weighted down and keeping it from blowing across the portions of the roadways that have already been plowed. But as we all know, common sense tells us when all this stuff starts freezing, it's going to be very slick, very hazardous, and very treacherous. So once again, the city is asking everyone to use common sense. Don't come out on the roadways tonight, especially as the mercury starts dipping and all of this freezes over, because there may be a lot of spots that'll be very slick where the salt won't yet be able to take effect. Hopefully it'll warm up again tomorrow. We'll see. We'll have more coming up in the next half hour. For now, that's the status report here at the Southwest Street Garage. Jack Martin, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jack. And the problem is that once it freezes, the snow is going to fall down on top of that again tonight, and that's something that could be quite a concern for many people out traveling on the roads. Again, the best advice, if you don't have to go out, don't go out at all.
Some good advice. And before you try to go out, if you absolutely have to, if you have an emergency, be sure to check the road conditions first. You can do that on the internet if you have access to a computer, or you can do it by phone. The web address is on your screen. It's www.state.in.us/ISP. Then you need to click onto the weather and road conditions area, or you can call the toll-free number that's on your screen, 1-800-261-7623, and you can get all the information you need about road conditions so that you can travel safely if you absolutely have to. As you can imagine, this storm not only shut down the roads, it's causing air traffic delays and cancellations across this region.
Obviously a big travel weekend for people headed home from their holiday vacations, but the storm canceled and delayed hundreds of flights at Indianapolis International. Chuck Lofton has been monitoring the situation there all day long. He joins us now live with the latest. Chuck?
Hi, John. You know, for the first time in 20 years, even though it was for only a 3-hour period, the Indianapolis International Airport was closed today between around 2:50 and 5:50. Now, we've had everything out here, snow, sleet, freezing rain that has caused those delays and cancellations. For a lot of people, a case of the airport blues. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Chris Schubach.
What's your destination, sir?
Travelers hoping to catch a plane to warmer destinations
Where are you going to? Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale, you need to be in this line over here to be rebooked.
didn't get very far.
When we got here, we were told the flights were canceled.
Okay, if it's a canceled flight, you'll need to get in this line here to be rebooked. Right?
Saturday, flights to and from Indianapolis stood by as Mother Nature arrived right on schedule.
We're from Port St. Lucie, Florida, and we're heading back to Orlando, and we came in for Christmas so that they could see snow for the first time. And we got plenty of snow.
Enough snow to ground most airlines and keep passengers dreaming of fun in the sun out in the cold.
If it gets really bad, things may not go until Monday.
You don't go to Dallas?
Nowhere close.
Sure don't.
Phoenix, nowhere.
These Bloomington North High School students made it back to Indy just in time.
We marched in the Rose Bowl parade.
Only to find themselves stranded at the airport.
It was a lot better than here. I don't like cold weather.
Despite efforts to clear the runways and de-ice the planes, for these weary travelers, it seems their situation won't change anytime soon, no matter how they look at it.
Oh, well, you just got to sit back and go with it.
So some figure, if they can't board it, they may as well join it. Chris Schubach, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
And a lot of people are going to be spending the night here at Indianapolis International. And back of me, some folks are hoping to get to Fort Myers tonight on ATA. The man with the answers is Dennis Roseborough from BAA International, BAA Indy. Dennis, what's the situation now for tomorrow, as best as you can tell?
Well, we hope that if we get any kind of break at all with the weather tonight, we should be in fairly decent shape in terms of having runways open. The batch of rain that we had after the freezing rain has helped, certainly with the melting of the snow, and our crews have been working since 5 o'clock last night. So hopefully we're getting the runways in decent shape, and we'll just have to see what happens with freezing tonight.
This is obviously a very huge travel weekend because it's the end of the holiday. Your advice for people who may hope to get out of here tomorrow?
Well, I think the most important thing is to call your airline to confirm whether your individual flight will be operating. As the storm passes through and things start loosening up, it's very much going to be on an individual flight basis as crews and aircraft are available and in the right location. So please check with your airline to make sure your flight is operating.
Now, we had today something that has not happened in 20 years. The airport closed, and it closed at a time when it wasn't snowing. What happened?
Well, Indiana weather, you know, it has lots of impacts, and this year the wrong things came together at the right time, in that we had the snow pretty much off the runway, and then the airport was hit with some significant amounts of freezing rain on the below freezing surface of the runway, and it glazed over very, very quickly. And our first commitment as managers of this airport is the safety and security of our passengers, and for safety reasons we said no, we're not going to keep that runway open. We closed it, loaded it with chemicals, swept it with our huge 30-foot brooms, and we're able to get it open again just a few minutes ago.
All right. Well, good for you, Dennis. Let's hope that we can keep this weather at least like this for a while.
Exactly.
Thanks very much. And of course, you know, one of the problems, John and Amanda, was the de-icing situation. The FAA mandates, hey, you've got to have 30 minutes from when that plane is de-iced until you have wheels up, and that just wasn't possible throughout most of the day because of this freezing rain that was really a pain in the neck in more ways than one. We'll be back out here again with more, but call your airline if you're either going to pick someone up or leave out of Indianapolis. John, it looks like some folks, in fact, have rescheduled at Tuesday for a time to get out of here, so it's going to be that long for some people.
All right, Chuck, you know, math was never one of my best subjects. Can you help me figure some out here?
Okay.
The airport hasn't been closed for 20 years. Now, what was the event that caused it to close 20 years ago?
The blizzard of 1978.
See, I knew the answer to that. I just wanted you to tell me. But isn't that interesting that it's been that long since there's been such a significant weather event?
And oddly enough, it wasn't snow that closed it today. It was ice.
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
Okay.
This winter storm also halted the Postal Service in Indianapolis today. The postmaster here in Indianapolis decided this morning to call off mail delivery for today. He said the secondary and the residential roads were simply too dangerous for the mail carriers to get out on. Mail service should be back to normal on Monday.
Well, obviously, this situation is continuing, and we will continue our Snow Team 13 coverage on this special report, the winter of '99.
Ring in 1999 at Dr.
Martin, Amanda Rossiter, Bill Mack Skytrack forecast, and sports with Chris Stouts. This is Channel 13 Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
You're looking now at live pictures of the 65-70 split rather. A major winter storm, as you can see, is socking us in tonight. Governor O'Bannon has already declared Indiana under a state of emergency. And in these blizzard conditions, trips to the barber, the mall, even to church can wait, but medical trips often can't.
Especially if your life depends on a 3-times-a-week procedure that you can't get at home. Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally is at IFD headquarters right now, where a helpful, hot idea has been born out of this cold. Dave?
John, for emergency crews, when the call for help comes in and the doors here come open, well, there just doesn't matter what the weather conditions are outside. It doesn't matter whether the roads are snowy or ice-covered. These crews have to get moving. The people that they help can't afford to be iced out. Tough to walk in, tougher to drive in.
The four-wheel drive is just a valuable tool.
Firefighters are always on call, and Mike McCoons had no choice but to call them.
We're loading the patient at this time.
This is pretty critical, time critical, you're getting this treatment.
No doubt.
He's one of the dozens of snowed-in kidney dialysis patients who have no other way to reach their life-saving treatment.
I've never, in the 6 years I've been doing the commuting, had anything like this to deal with.
Fearing the storm, Mike had already left his Crawfordsville home to stay with family in Indianapolis to be closer to his treatment.
Control from operations.
At fire headquarters,
1103 from 1200. 3209 North Riley.
so many calls came in from snowbound dialysis patients already a day late for treatment because of New Year's Day.
On the east side.
So many calls, Deputy Chief Harry Tibbetts, whose son is on dialysis, got the idea to use IFD's four-wheel drives to move dialysis patients. That took the burden off the ambulances, which were getting stuck in snow.
First thing she said was, "Who do I pay?" I said, "No." I said, "You're a citizen of Indianapolis. This is our service for you."
1103 from operations.
So it's fortunate that these folks are around to help. It's, you know, you can't really put it into words, but what it means to people in my situation.
Okay, I got a run for you.
They are clear on their mission, even if the roads aren't. They've got to be out there, and they've been doing a heck of a job of it today, helping probably more than 40 people. When those folks are done their dialysis, which can take about 3 hours, they can pick them up on an emergency or on a non-emergency basis. And they've also got volunteers who are using their own vehicles to bring them home as well. Live downtown, David McAnally, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Hoosiers are always there to help out when people need a hand.
You bet.
Thank you, David. Indiana is now under a state of emergency, but earlier today, several Indiana counties declared local snow emergencies. Authorities in Shelby County are taking the emergency seriously. In fact, anyone caught driving without a good reason could find themselves without a car.
City police are telling people that don't have to be out. If you get hung up, we can tow your vehicle, and we will keep it until the snow emergency is over. Other areas of the county that people just don't see if they're in the city of Shelbyville can't imagine that it is that difficult in traveling, and it is. That's why the emergency was declared.
Besides the state of emergency, 42 Indiana counties and 12 Indiana cities remain under local snow emergencies tonight.
Bob Duckley's SkyTrack forecast bears the seal of approval of the American Meteorological Society.
There's a look outside here as far as kind of caught me unaware here. Our sky camera in the downtown area kind of showing plenty of snow, what looks like snow, but right now we're continuing to get rain. You take a look at the city now and what's happening. Our temperature here, we're at 34 degrees. Shelbyville is 34. Down in the Bloomington area, they're 34 degrees there too. So we're the warmest spots in the state. So what's going to happen now, the temperatures will fall off by 9 o'clock below freezing, and then everything is just going to ice up once again. So that's our coming scenario. Let's take a look at what the stats are showing right now for you at this hour. Officially out at the airport, 34 degrees. We have rain, humidity at 85%, winds are southeasterly at 7. The barometric pressure is at 29.49, and that's falling off. For Indianapolis today now, we're high temperature. Actually, we need to tick on our graphic here, 34. The present reading is our high reading for the day. If we can go back to our graphics map here, 18 degrees was our low. 9.5 inches of snow is the storm total out at the Indianapolis International Airport. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll check additional snow totals from around the state, many of those from our weather watchers too. So if you're keeping track of that, we'll bring that to your attention. What's happening now is the air is wrapping around this area of low pressure. So the colder air down in Evansville, you see their temperature at 25. So precip there has changed back over to snow. We're going to continue to have a westerly wind, 15 to 25 miles an hour, both tonight and again tomorrow. So that's going to cause continued blowing and gusting and drifting of snow. Here's the influx of moisture coming from the south in the form of very heavy rain showers farther southward, thunderstorms mixing with some freezing rain and sleet, and then all snow across the northern third of the state. Take a look at this, if you will. The area of low pressure causing this storm is near the Terre Haute area now, but by tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, you can see it just north of the border, and here you can see the wind flow ahead of this thing, strong southerly flows, so that's where we're getting all of this moisture. On the backside, now all of a sudden it's coming in a northerly direction and then back around in a westerly direction. So that's what's going to happen as this thing scoots off, more of a westerly flow, and then the winds will relax a little bit and just be steady westerly. We won't have that twisting that we have had. This is the map now, begins at 7 o'clock for you tomorrow morning. The area of low pressure will be moving northward. It will take most of the snow with us, but yet that circulation around it that we're talking about, even Sunday night on into Monday, will continue to have the same flow behind this thing. So the snow should end. It's going to be light amounts, but it's going to take until Monday before that gets here. Here's the snowfall potential now through Monday. The amounts of snow and forecasts pretty much nail this right on the head. 12 inches in northern Indiana, where the warning remains throughout the evening hours. They have wind chill temperatures up there in the -20 and winds still gusting and snowing very heavily in the northern third of the state. And right here in the middle, we're in that 6 to 12 range. Now, before we get to this, let's check our forecast for this evening. We're going to continue to have some rain. Then it'll change over to snow. 27 will be our temperature at 11 o'clock. The overnight low comes in at 16 with light snow tomorrow during the day, 16, and then light snow continues even in the afternoon. Our high temperature comes in at 19. Winds will continue westerly, 15 to 25 miles an hour. Here's the story now. Still some residual snow from this storm system, even for us on Monday. Then we get a bit of a time off there on Tuesday, and then we'll start again with more moisture. But throughout the entire period, you can see temperatures will remain quite cold, both for afternoon highs and lows, okay? Chicago, you got a story coming up. I saw midway they have 17 inches of snow on the ground there right now. So that's it. We'll see you later.
Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Lake effect alive and well because Chicago is very snowy this weekend. The Windy City could get as much as 2 feet of snow before the winter storm moves out tomorrow. Lakeshore Drive is lined with sandbags because waves are so high in Lake Michigan that they don't want it to flood the heavily traveled road there. Freezing switches are also slowing Chicago's rapid transit line. As you can see, cars are having a tough time getting anywhere. And snow and ice are also making life miserable in St. Louis this weekend. Some people ventured onto the roads this morning, but authorities are urging people to stay home unless their car will be doing that. More than a foot of snow has fallen on eastern and central Missouri so far.
Well, the same storm system creating snow here in the Midwest is causing another type of problem in parts of Florida. Take a look at the high water in North Palm Beach County. Drivers like these folks here are getting stuck in high water because of a powerful storm which whipped through the state this afternoon. Florida officials say many of the streets there are closed, and so far about 100 homes are flooded.
Well, if it's not snow, it's something else, I guess, for people.
All across the country.
We will continue our coverage of the winter of '99 storm. You see a live shot of the airport here, folks waiting, hoping somehow to get a flight out tonight. Doesn't look like they're going to make it. Probably in the next couple of days they'll have to be rebooked. And we'll have more coming up in just a moment.
Could the key to happiness really be a key? Now's the perfect time to find out. It's the Mazda year-end clearance event with low 3.9% APR financing for up to 60 months on the sporty Mazda 626. You could save over $3,300. Plus, make no monthly payments until April. Get into the Mazda year-end clearance event now and change your outlook on driving forever.
The chief correspondent is your go-to guy. When there's real reporting to be done, I'm the one they call on.
So it's pretty darn cold out there, huh, Al?
What? You know, a lot of people think to be a great reporter, all you need is this. It takes this, going to prison, and it takes your whole body. I don't see any reason. What I'm saying is there are a lot of physical demands.
Don't mess with us.
Late Line coming to NBC Wednesday at 9, 8 Central. You'll like what you see and love what you'll save.
Honda presents a solidly constructed offer on the Civic sedan. With air conditioning, AM/FM CD player, automatic transmission, power door locks, and a remote entry system. All for an unexpected $15,045. The limited issue Civic sedan. Better strike while the iron's hot.
It's been a really long day out there with this big winter storm, and along with it comes plenty of delays and cancellations, and among them some big ball games.
Including Purdue's Big Ten opener. That's a shame. And Chris Stout is joining us now to tell us about some of the other postponements.
Yeah, there's a lot of postponements, a lot of basketball this time of year in Indiana. A lot of games postponed. How you doing tonight, folks? Hope you're staying warm inside this wintry weather. Instead of playing Purdue at Mackey Arena today, the Minnesota Golden Gophers are ordering room service at the Indianapolis Westin Hotel. Clem Haskins' squad is stuck in Indianapolis. Indianapolis. Today's 2 o'clock game was postponed due to the weather and rescheduled for Sunday at 6 p.m. Now, if they do play, though, there will be no TV for you Boilermaker fans. Also, Sunday afternoon's basketball game between Indiana and Illinois. It is still on. The Fighting Illini just left Champaign for the bus ride over to Bloomington. And there's only one thing worse than traveling I-74 east in a winter storm, traveling I-74 west. Lon Kruger says they'll take it nice and easy.
It's not the ideal preparation, but it's not something that we're going to look at as an excuse either. We've got to go over and play a very good Indiana ball club and know we have to play awfully well before a hostile crowd to have a chance to win.
Again, that game's still on, but here are some rescheduled games. Minnesota-Purdue tomorrow. Northern Illinois and Ball State also tomorrow. That was postponed today. Also postponed around the state of Indiana. Villanova-Notre Dame. Earlham's game, the University of Indianapolis, is postponed. Also DePaul. And Butler at the University of Illinois, Chicago. The NFL playoffs kicked off today in Miami. Buffalo at Miami. First offensive play for the Bills. Doug Flutie to Eric Moulds. Moulds with an NFL playoff record, 240 yards, but Terrell Buckley pokes the ball loose. Miami would get a field goal out of this and take a 6-0 lead into the second quarter. On to the second quarter, Thurman Thomas barrels in from a yard out. Thurman and the Dolphins with a few words after this touchdown. This was a great game. Now let's fast forward to the fourth quarter. Dan Marino hits Lamar Thomas. Touchdown Dolphins. They were up 24-14. The play of the game, though. Watch closely. You be the judge. Andre Reed looks like he gets the ball in the end zone, but the side judge says no. Reed loses his head, bumps the official, gets a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and is ejected. Buffalo had to settle for a field goal. 24-17 Miami. Bills with a chance to tie the game. Doug Flutie back. Watch out, Doug. He fumbles the ball. Dolphins pick it up. Dolphins win 24-17. Listen to this. Afterwards, Jimmy Johnson and the Dolphins danced on a box of Flutie Flakes in their locker room. What a classy move. Of course, Flutie Flakes, a charitable cause, not too classy by the Dolphins. But what do you expect with Jimmy Johnson, huh?
I guess so. Kind of makes you root against them the rest of the way in the playoffs, doesn't it? Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Stay with us here, folks, for more Snow Team 13 coverage of this big winter storm.
Take a look at a live shot of downtown Indianapolis right now. You can see it's rather empty and rather eerie tonight. We'll continue our special coverage of the winter of '99 in just a moment.
Connect 13 to leave a news tip for Eyewitness News. Call 464-1313, then press 1. It's a free call for Ameritech Cellular customers.
Books,
record, magazine,
software,
CDs,
cassettes,
videos,
half-price books. I come to half-price books to save money.
The atmosphere is wonderful, cozy, warm, friendly.
From A to Z, you can find, and everything in between, you can always find it at half-price books.
Half Price is the best place to bring your kids to shop for books.
The prices at Half Price Books are the best in town.
I love saving money.
Plus, you can buy CDs and albums and tapes.
It's amazing.
It'd be crazy not to shop here.
Half Price Books is my favorite bookstore.
One new shape leading to another. It's the geometry of change at the new Dodge. Change that led to the only trucks in the world that look like this. Which leads us to this pleasing shape, our best sales curve ever. So to continue the trend, we're offering an exceptionally low interest rate on select Rams. Or on this Dakota, a very affordable lease rate. New shapes, new thinking from the new Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you for these limited time offers.
Every disaster in our community comes down to one terrible moment for someone. You can help your local American Red Cross make life easier for victims of fires with the purchase of Time Warner Cable. $5 of your installation fee will help provide food, clothing, and shelter for fire victims when help can't wait. Plus, you'll be treating your family to quality channels like American Movie Classics and HBO. Order the Indie Choice package for only $47.95 a month through June 1999 and get installation for only $9.95. Call Time Warner Cable today.
Now, weather coverage you can count on. This is an Eyewitness News Snow Team Reports.
Tonight, the state of Indiana shuts down in a state of emergency as a winter blizzard cripples the region. Welcome back to our special Snow Team 13 edition of Eyewitness News. I'm Amanda Rossiter.
And I'm John Stair. Tonight, Governor O'Bannon declared a state of emergency for Indiana. The governor says today's winter storm created dangerous conditions in all 92 Indiana counties. The storm closed hundreds of secondary roads, and travel along the interstates is down to a crawl right now.
Let's go over now to Bob Gregory. He's going to update us on the current weather conditions right now. Bob?
Well, first off, what's going on, we'll kind of remind you of the warnings that remain in effect for the winter storm, technically until 9 o'clock tonight for much of central Indiana, southern Lafayette, over to the Muncie area southward. That includes Indianapolis. We'll continue to get some sleet and some freezing rain until about 9, and then as the colder air comes in, that will change over to snow. The northern third or so of Indiana will remain under this winter storm warning throughout the evening hours tonight because they continue to get considerable blowing and drifting of snow, but that also will be mixed for a short time with this freezing rain and sleet. But right now they continue to get snow, and winds are gusting in the mid 20-mile-an-hour range up there, so there's plenty of drifting going on. Look at our radar, if you will, right now. This is our Doppler, and I'll give you an idea of what's going on. This is a heavier area of rain now from south of Kokomo all the way down toward the Greensburg area east of metropolitan Indianapolis. Just a little dry slot here, and then more precipitation in the form of some light snow. Already 25 degrees down in Evansville as that colder air wraps around. Well, you're wondering about snowfall amounts. Well, let's take a look here. If you've got to do your shoveling tomorrow, give you an idea. Around the area, Beech Grove, 12 inches there. Carmel, Lebanon, both with 10 inches of snow. 9.5 officially at the airport. Kim Morris in Mooresville, 9.5 there. Phil and Carmel with 10 inches a foot. Matt Beals in Noblesville, some other snowfall amounts around the area. A foot out of Kokomo, 10 inches. Frankfort and Logansport, off in the southwestern part of the area. Bowling Green, 8 inches. Greencastle, the Durhams with 7 inches there. Columbus, 6, 8 in Greensburg, 8 in Rushville from Joyce Mollenkoff in Greensburg, 9 out of Muncie, 10 inches PG Jellison in Portland, Rose with 8, and then Adam Moore in Tipton had 9 inches of snow there. So that's what's going on outside. But keep in mind now what's happening, even though we continue to get rain as that colder air wraps back around this storm, it's going to change over to snow, and all of that stuff that's slush now on the roads is just going to be hard as a rock out there. So travel is going to continue to be extremely dangerous throughout later tonight and again tomorrow. And again, to reiterate, they'll tell you again 65 from the north of Lebanon area all the way up to Chicago is closed due to blowing snow. Now let's get back over to John and Amanda.
Thanks, Bob. In Marion County today, Indianapolis Mayor Stephen Goldsmith urged people to use their common sense and stay off the roads. As Eyewitness News reporter Roger Harvey explained, city crews are working around the clock to clear your streets.
Before the sun came up, city trucks loaded up with salt and hit the roads. The game plan was simple for the drivers.
We're plowing and clearing up the center part of the street so everybody will know where they're at, and then we're going to work our way back to the curves.
You were working for the city back in '78 in the big one. Is this as bad as that?
Well, I don't know. It was totally on a shutdown. Right now, it's not a total shutdown. So no, not right now. It's not as bad, but it might get worse. I don't know.
Fresh snow falling was just part of the problem. The swirling wind recovered plowed roads.
It's really as bad as I remember in the last several years.
It's bad, but Mayor Goldsmith didn't call for a state of emergency. Instead, a state of common sense.
Chances of getting successfully out of your driveway and out of your side streets onto the main thoroughfares are really remote right now, and that's as close to emergency as you could be.
More than 80 trucks plowed Marion County throughout the day.
While city crews focus on the primary roads, the snow continues to pile up here on the secondary roads. This is Capitol Avenue. Look at how much snow. It covers my boot. This is in one of the lanes. The only way to travel on these roads is with a four-wheel drive vehicle.
If you don't believe it, just look at Robert Crawford. He's stuck 7 miles from a relative's house.
I don't know. I'm about to make a phone call right now.
You're about to give in to Mother Nature?
Just about. For real.
On a day like today, the best way to travel is to walk. In Indianapolis, Roger Harvey, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Indianapolis has 80 trucks on the streets plowing tonight. The city also has hired several dozen private contractors as well to help clear the roads.
Well, if you think it was tough getting around on the ground today, today's stormy weather also created big headaches for people trying to get out from the Indianapolis International Airport.
Chuck Lofton has been out there all day long, and he joins us now with more on what's happening with the travelers. Chuck?
I have been out here all day long, and I'm not quite ready to say yee-haw yet, but we do have some hope for tomorrow. As we mentioned earlier on in the newscast, for the first time since the blizzard of '78, Indianapolis International Airport was closed today. It was only for 3 hours, and it was not because of that 9 inches of snow. It was because of this afternoon's freezing rain. We're getting all rain here still right now at the airport. But here's a look at some of the scenes from today when we had about 32,000 seats that were to be filled, and most of them were not. And we had a lot of lines from about 4 o'clock this morning up until just now. And a lot of the reservation folks had to tell people flights canceled. This was the real problem, de-icing. Because of the FAA mandate that you have to have 30 minutes between de-icing and wheels up on the runway or less. They're just not able to do that, especially since the airport authority had to work hard to keep these tarmacs and runways cleared. Now, as far as the rest of the day is concerned, these planes, which are out here now, may be full with a little bit more action tomorrow. We are expecting more flights. In fact, Dennis Roseborough from BAA Indianapolis told us live a few moments ago that we could have 50 to 60,000 seats filled in between now and Monday, which means that tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday will be quite hectic. Now, in back of me is a group from ATA. These folks are trying to get on the ATA flight to Fort Myers. Whether that'll happen or not, don't know yet, but most of the flights tonight and tomorrow morning on airlines like Delta have been canceled. But we do expect more action tomorrow as we get some arrivals of planes that are coming in, and then those planes will be used for departures. Needless to say, it has been a very eventful day here with the airport closing, with so many people really stranded here. Some of the flights, John and Amanda, will not be rescheduled until Tuesday. So it is going to be a while, but at least tomorrow we've got a fighting chance of getting some of these people to their destination. Chuck Lofton, live from Indianapolis International Airport. Back to you.
Probably not very many hotel rooms out there that are empty tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy night for the area hotels, too.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
Well, not a lot we can do about it. Can't do anything about all that's going on around us, but there are some things we can do to help make the best of it all. Eyewitness News reporter Kevin Rader takes you inside the war room of the State Emergency Management Agency, where helping you is their job.
Overnight, as the snow mounted, SEMA, the State Emergency Management Agency personnel, manned the war room, watching, listening, preparing for a day to come.
Still looks like you've got quite a bit coming at you yet, so, you know, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
National Guard, INDOT, DNR, State Police, Red Cross all pool their manpower and resources in the basement of Government Center South.
We get these three open, we should be able to cover most of the main arteries. As people start getting out on the road today, we're going to see stranded motorists. I know we're going to see it.
In the early hours, the list of snow emergencies is short.
City of Anderson has declared.
But it doesn't take long for that to change.
4 cities.
So there's power outage in both of those areas.
You're right, man. Freezing rain.
Uh-huh.
The brown band shows the trail to freezing rain. That's the fear. Mounting snow, the reality.
70's impassable in the Pendleton area. Or 69, I'm sorry. Well, both of them. 70 and 69 in the Pendleton area are impassable.
And he said that it's mostly on the ramps that are causing the people problem. I asked him if he had any people stranded on the interstates. He says not that they've been made aware of.
Tell Bob to go ahead and fax this over to the governor's office.
The first synopsis of the situation is on its way to the governor. Bob Gregory's synopsis, broadcast to the war room.
You think you can get some records?
Yeah.
In South Bend in particular.
What roadways?
He didn't know what road. It was in South Bend area. If there's cars, you know, that there we can't plow.
The number of snow emergencies highlighted in red reflect the gravity of the situation.
Mike has already addressed that problem with the state police, and I think they're going to get as many records as they can out there to get them out of your way.
They'll stay as long as needed.
Do you know if this truck is going to be able to move if we just plow a lane through there, or is he off the road stuck, or what?
He's across the road stuck.
And that could be a while. Kevin Rader, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
The State Emergency Management Agency is on the job now at this hour, 22 straight hours almost since it first went online at 9 o'clock last night.
It has certainly been a long weekend so far for everyone involved. Our entire weather team is here. We are keeping you up to date with complete Snow Team 13 coverage.
And you're looking live at a shot of the circle in downtown Indianapolis, 1999, displayed on the IPL building, and a lot of snow passing by in front of it. We'll continue our special report on the winter of '99 coming up in just a moment.
The new 1999 Value City furniture is now here. Unfortunately, so is the new 98. Something's got to give. Announcing the Value City Furniture Emergency Overstock Sale. You'll find some of the lowest prices of the year on all the great home furnishings you want. So you won't need much money, just a little something you've tucked away for emergencies. And this is an emergency.
What is the value of your home? It cost you years of savings, but its worth goes beyond mere dollars. It contains your memories, your life. But what if someone stole your precious possessions?
The last 24 hours, snow, freezing rain, and wind-blown drifts, all while working 12-hour shifts. It made for a very frustrating and difficult time.
It was pretty bad last night. We'd plow through, and then as soon as we come back through, it was already drifted shut, and we just kept working on it all night.
Road crews were happy to see the snow turn to rain, even the freezing variety, because it meant the mercury was starting to turn in their favor.
What that means is the temperature's getting pretty warm to where our material is going to work a lot faster than it was last night.
What are you hearing from the drivers?
They're seeing improvement. We've basically got most of the lanes opened up now. Kind of concerned about this wind still. It's still drifting a little bit on us, but with these warmer temperatures, the material we put down is going to work a lot better.
Now, despite the temporary rise in temperatures, it's going to get worse later, so authorities stress don't go out on the roads if you don't have to. Seek shelter. Right now, there are 24 armories that are in business, and right now, 36 people are in the Tippecanoe County Armory, and people are starting to find shelters. Live from the State Emergency Management Headquarters, I'm Norman Cox, 6 News.
All right, thanks, Norm.
Let's find out exactly what it's going to be like later. Here's David James.
Well, still kind of changing our weather pattern. Of course, it's that low pressure. That's been the culprit that brought us. So first the snow, then the sleet, then the rain. Now it's going to be back to snow here shortly as that low pressure is tracking right up through this region here. And you can see we changed over, of course, into the rain during the afternoon hours. But now we're starting to move in some colder temperatures straight from the west. We're at 34, but it's already down in the mid-20s along the Illinois border. And so here's the situation for the rest of tonight. Still snow up in the northern part of Indiana, 12 to 18 inches. They've got most of that on the ground. Just an additional inch here in central Indiana. So some freezing rain changes into a little bit of light snow and just some snow showers around tomorrow, but 16 for the low and 19 for the high. Here's the 5-day outlook, and that shows we're going to...
As the old saying goes, neither snow nor rain nor sleet, bending the postal motto just a bit, can keep these couriers doing their day work. But in Dayton, Ohio, it was a job that wasn't envied by anyone today. Officials are warning people not to stay indoors unless they absolutely must travel. In Chicago, forecasters say the winter storm with its 40-mile-an-hour winds may break a new record for the Windy City. Experts say whiteouts cause zero visibility on Lakeshore Drive, making clearing difficult for the 700-plus snow hauling vehicles. The winter storm, which began on Friday, may possibly top the blizzard of 1979, which dropped about 19 inches on the Windy City.
"200 degrees of pure heat made your hair healthier.
Thermosilk shampoos and conditioners are turned on by heat to actually improve your hair's condition. Thermosilk, where there's heat, there's healthy hair.
Save 25 to 50% now during the Victoria's Secret bra sale. Save on Miracle Bras, Second Skin Satin, even English Lace and Angels 2000. 25 to 50% off during the bra sale on now at Victoria's Secret, the best lingerie store in the world.
On the next all-new Profiler, tried, convicted, and sentenced to death.
I wrote the profile that convicted him.
But is he really the killer? Last night there was another killing.
We have 22 hours.
For the Profiler, FBI! Time is the enemy.
What if he dies because of my profile?
All-new Profiler following The Pretender, NBC next Saturday.
Later on NBC's Saturday Night Live, join country great Garth Brooks with special guest Robert Duvall. Your local news is next.
Cold temperatures, freezing rain, it is enough to keep you inside, but as temperatures drop, tempers flare for residents of one apartment building hit by nature and another big problem at the same time. The news is next.
You're watching WLWT-TV, Channel 5 Cincinnati. Coverage that's first, fast, accurate throughout Greater Cincinnati and the Tri-State. This is Eyewitness News 5 at 11.
This morning, snow. This afternoon, rain. Tonight, the real problem as the whole thing turns to ice. Tonight, our continuing live team coverage of this winter storm.
As a matter of fact, our wet streets are starting to turn to ice right now, and a major concern, black ice.
Churches are canceling services, and people are being told to stay inside if you can. WLWT Storm Team 5 meteorologist Todd Warren has the latest now. Todd, what is happening right now?
Well, Elena, we are looking at the rain that we were watching earlier this evening has changed back over to snow between 10 and 10:30 that occurred across the greater Cincinnati metropolitan area. Take a look at the Doppler 5000 network here, and you can see the heavier rain basically east of Cincinnati. We're looking at the precipitation beginning to taper off in the far western sections of the tri-state. This is all snow right now, and we could see an additional inch accumulation all total during the next 24 hours as the precipitation continues to move across the tri-state. Now, again, up to an inch accumulation is expected, but the snow that we received earlier this morning, in addition to the heavy rains that we experienced this afternoon, upwards of half an inch to an inch at many locations, has caused some problems as far as flooding across the tri-state. And for more on that, let's send it over to WLWT Storm Team 5 meteorologist Dave Frazier. David?
Yeah, Todd, when you and I talked earlier this afternoon, one of the concerns was with the temperatures coming up and the snowpack out there and the rain over top, there's just nowhere for that rain to go. It's going to run off the snowpack. The drains are clogged up, and I can tell you, I was driving around earlier tonight, and there's a lot of places, especially the highway 71, 75, the I-275 loop, where there's a lot of standing water. Take it slow out there. I hit a spot myself where we did a lot of ponding. So here's the snow. You know how much we had across the area, but it's worth pointing out again. You can see the 6-inch amounts. There were some lighter amounts across parts of Kentucky, but generally 6 inches is what covers most of the area. And again, like Todd said, look at the rain amounts here. Cutting across Hamilton County back into southeast Indiana, this is about a half an inch of rain that has fallen so far. The good news is, as Todd pointed out, the rain is letting up. But back in Indiana, there's places up to an inch of rain, and obviously that rain just erodes that snowpack, and like I said, there's nowhere for that moisture to go. So flooding was going to be a problem. Any roads that intersect, you're going to have a lot of slush at the end of those roads, and with temperatures plummeting tonight, we're going to have a skating rink out there in a lot of locations. We're not done with this winter storm by any means. As a matter of fact, Todd and I will be back in a few minutes, and we'll talk about a couple of blustery, downright cold days coming our way as you head back to work. Terry?
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Now be sure to keep an eye on the bottom of your screen throughout our newscast. We will give you closings, including Sunday morning church services. Now let's get back to the weather. Street conditions, of course, are going to be a prime concern tonight and again tomorrow. WLWT Eyewitness News 5's Ken Stinson is joining us now with a live report on that. Ken.
Terry, look at this. Most of the roads are still slush covered. Some of it is turning to ice. The colder it gets out here, police say that drivers all around the tri-state are going to have to watch their speed. Speed and slick pavement are putting those on the road at risk. The driver you see here was cut off at the 471-275 split. She missed hitting the car that was spinning out of control in front of her. Seconds later, she slams into a tractor trailer. Conditions expected to get worse. What are you looking forward to tonight?
I don't know.
Do you think it's going to get crazy?
It's
supposed to get a lot colder, probably gonna have some ice.
In Anderson Township, drivers are forced to hit their brakes. Standing water has crews plowing away a serious backup on 275. It temporarily shut down a couple of lanes. All this rain and snow have created some major slush in very deep puddles. You can imagine when this freezes, the dangers it's going to present to drivers whipping around corners like these.
We simply ask people to not drive if they don't have to. If you have to get out, just drive slow. Increase the space between you and the car in front of you.
And remember, ice blends in with the road. That's what makes it so dangerous. Right now, ice is closing down sections of Parkside Place and Hill Street in Mount Adams. Coming up a little later in the show, we'll show you which roads get priority when it comes to plowing. That's the latest look at the roads. You see it snowing out here, slush and ice. How about those airports? Let's go to WLWT Eyewitness News 5, Brian Hamrick for the latest on the airports.
The weather has caused problems for travelers in the air all day long. A lot of cancellations, some delays, but not just here in Cincinnati, but all over the region. And here's the kind of problems it has caused on the inside. You can see there are a number of lines, and also over here, folks are trying to work out any problems they might have. There have been a number of situations that they have to work out whenever a plane has been delayed. So the folks are coming in, they're trying to work those out. It takes a little extra time to do that. Now, some of the areas that have had the hardest problems, Chicago, Indianapolis, St. Louis, mostly in our area. So if you're flying in those areas, make sure to check in first before you do that. That's why they're saying everyone should try and get here about an hour and a half ahead of time, just to be sure in case you have any problems. And they say be sure to bring the most important thing, and that's patience. Reporting at the airport, Brian Hemrick, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
The snow covered a lot more than just streets today. It contributed to the collapse of a roof in Butler County. The owner told us his shed just couldn't handle the weight of the snow. No one was inside when it collapsed, fortunately. Even the four-wheel drive sports utility vehicles aren't safe from the weather. Police say the driver of a Ford Expedition was slowing down for another accident today in Erlanger, but lost control, slamming into a light pole. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries.
There are some things you should keep in mind if you are in an accident. Cincinnati police have been responding to injury accidents and stranded drivers only. If you're in a fender bender, just exchange information and report it to police within 24 hours. In Butler County, police are responding to non-emergency calls but expect delays. Claremont and Warren counties also responding to non-emergency accidents, as are Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. Well, in Cincinnati, a snow emergency was officially declared about noon. About 3 this afternoon. Vehicles could be towed if parked on the street in a snow emergency area. So don't park overnight if you have a snow emergency sign around you, or it will cost you $56 if your car is towed. Call the police district that you're in to find out where your car is.
As if the cold temperatures weren't enough, people in one apartment building are suffering a double whammy tonight. Faltering heat, soaking wet floors, and there is nothing they can do about it on this cold night. As you're about to hear, emotional residents are losing control tonight.
Why you getting 100 off the rent? Come on!
Months of frustration coming out now that severe weather is making life tough for these residents. Their nightmare is inside their homes.
We ain't got no place else to go, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. At this Coleraine Avenue apartment building, residents have been without water for much of the day, cut off when a pipe burst. The burst flooded this carpeted floor. You can see it is still soaked. Making matters worse, the heat is faltering. They're using ovens to warm their homes. And on this cold night, it gets even worse.
That's why these curtains are thick curtains, because all kind of air comes through here. And we already don't have no heat. Them don't work.
And if you go down the hall, this renter faces the frigid air of outside pouring into her apartment. That's because the air conditioner hasn't been replaced by property management and the vent is open.
It's cold. It's very cold. My daughter has got pneumonia, walking pneumonia, and it's nothing been done. They say they're going to put an air conditioner in there, and it hasn't got here yet.
How do you keep it warm?
We cover up. See, like I had this stuffed in, cover with equipment, and try to cover up that hole.
The resident manager herself, a tenant, says she's been trying to keep up with the problems in the apartment building, often paying with personal money to make repairs. She says she has not had help from the property's owner to make repairs, and that owner could not be reached when we made calls tonight.
The winter storm is sending folks out shopping, and not just for food, they're also stocking up on movies. We'll have the top 5 picks and tell you what some stores are doing that could save you some money.
And coming up in weather, it's snowing across the tri-state right now. We'll have more on that, as well as some bitterly cold air headed this way. Details coming up in your Storm Center 5 forecast.
I'm Wendy Cicchetti at a grocery store in Crescent Springs. Despite this weather, the shoppers were out, a lot of them hearing the words sold out. We'll explain coming up.
Closed captioning brought to you by your friendly neighborhood Dodge dealers.
Curves, angles, one new shape leading to another. It's the geometry of change at the new Dodge. Change that led to the only trucks in the world that look like this. Which leads us to this pleasing shape, our best sales curve ever. So to continue the trend, we're offering an exceptionally low interest rate on select Rams. Or on this Dakota, a very affordable lease rate. New shapes, new thinking from the new Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you for these limited time offers.
This is where we grew up, our community. It's very important to us. We got to know American Family Insurance because they're very involved in the community.
Our American Family agent also understands our family's needs, and he's always looking out for our family's best interest.
Great insurance company.
All your protection under one roof.
It's been an award-winning year, so we're having an award-winning year-end event celebrating 15 years of minivan leadership. Take advantage of these special opportunities now. Get $1,000 cash allowance on Plymouth Grand Voyager, on the ultimate Chrysler Town & Country, and on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager. Or lease Plymouth Voyager for just $239 a month, or get 1.9% APR for a limited time only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
The December to Remember sales event, now at your Lexus dealer. Gift wrapping not included.
We talked to relatives in Ohio, and they suggested look for a hotel room because you may not get home tonight.
Weary travelers tried to get out of Chicago today, but thousands were stranded, forced to extend their holiday vacations. Airlines are saying you should call before you head to the airport. And that includes our international airport, where only one of 3 runways could be used for much of the day.
Now, the good news is all 3 runways are back open at this hour, but of course, that could change with more ice and snow. And problems at other airports are slowing flights in and out of here. Delta, for example, is having trouble at Hartsfield in Atlanta, TWA in St. Louis, and United in Chicago. It is a mess in the Midwest. Slipping, sliding, trying to travel one way or the other. Near Cleveland, the problem is snow and lots of it. In Columbus, the airport was virtually shut down with snow followed by freezing rain. On the roads, similar problems with emergency crews trying to keep up. Dayton, Ohio, also trying to deal with a mixture of snow and freezing rain. Some coffee shops did brisk business. In Greendale, Indiana, near Lawrenceburg, 5 inches of snow by noon, and that meant shoveling, but also some fun for the children. And up in Findlay, Ohio, another sign that life goes on as the mail gets through, and crews work hard to make things as normal as they can in a winter storm. Well, again, though, more problems expected overnight and tomorrow. The good news is that the winter storm should clear up in time for your Monday morning return to work. Elena?
Well, a big problem here is the rain turning overnight into ice. Let's check in now with WLWT Storm Team 5 meteorologist Todd Warren. Todd.
That's right, Elaine. All this began about 24 hours ago when we started with snow. It changed over to freezing rain, then to rain, and now we're back over to snow. And reason for that, take a look at a live shot from the west end. You can see the snowfall, basically light to moderate intensity, which is falling across the tri-state. This should last for a couple of hours before we see it taper off later on tonight across the tri-state. And the reason why we've seen it change back over to snow is that colder air is working into the tri-state and all the entire layer of the atmosphere. In fact, a couple of hours ago, we were were at 38 degrees here in Cincinnati. We have since dropped to 31. You can see the colder air out here to the west, which is going to be pushing into the tri-state. Right now, it's already 20 degrees in Indianapolis. And again, that colder air is going to be working in, only making conditions worse. Let's show you the big picture as far as the Doppler 5000 network. And you can see the back edge of the precipitation continuing to work its way towards the east. And we'll move through the tri-state during the next couple of hours. And as it does so, we could see a little bit of more in terms of accumulation. You can see the freezing line also working its way towards the east, as we will begin to see the water that's on the highways and byways across the tri-state begin to refreeze and make travel conditions once again a bit on the slippery side as far as the tri-state is concerned. Now, as far as Futurecast 5, it is showing the change over to snow once again. And as we take you through tonight and through tomorrow, we are going to be looking at cloudy skies with periods of off and on light snow across the tri-state. Not a whole lot of moisture in place, so all total, I think, up to an inch accumulation possible here in the tri-state region. As we move into Monday, we'll begin to see the light snow begin to taper off, and that will be the case as we look ahead to Monday as well. All total, again, up to an inch accumulation possible here in the tri-state. Most of that, I think, will occur during the next couple of hours. Once we get through tonight and into tomorrow, main concern will be cold. For more on that, let's send over to the Storm Center and Storm Team 5 meteorologist Dave Frazier. David?
Well, I'll tell you what, Todd, a very impressive storm system, and you're right, 24 hours, look what it has done, and it's not done yet. Todd's talking about a blast of cold air. Let me show you the temperature outlook for the next couple of days, and we're looking at temperatures tomorrow. Actual high temperature will be 24, but that will come in the morning. During the afternoon, the temperature will fall backwards to the 17 you see there. Now, you factor in a wind speed tomorrow out of the west-northwest of up to 16 to possibly 20 miles an hour, and the wind chills tomorrow, what it will feel like to you and I, will run anywhere from 9 to 10 below zero. We're not done then. On Monday, our high temperature will struggle to get to 18 degrees, and that same wind will be out there, and at times will be even stronger. We'll be at 15 below for a wind chill on Monday, and look back to the left-hand side of your picture, Peoria, Chicago. They're going to be downright blustery, dangerous wind chills of 30 below. Be back in a few minutes with more on what you can expect for the roadways. For now, though, Todd has details on your forecast. Todd?
That's right, Dave, and that means all this water that's out there is going to stay frozen during the next several days. 24 degrees by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll continue to see some light snow around. 20 degrees by noon. You can see the trend for the day tomorrow by the afternoon. 17 degrees, and again, all total up to an inch additional snowfall accumulation possible. 5-day forecast is showing you a dry day for Monday, but as Dave mentioned, a very cold day, 18 for the high. We'll see a little bit of sunshine in here for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then late Wednesday into Thursday, another disturbance moves in, gives us a chance for some snowfall across the tri-state region with temperatures warming back up into the lower 30s. So again, a little bit of accumulation tonight and tomorrow, but the main concern is the refreezing of the water on the roadways.
If you're stuck at home wondering when your neighborhood is going to get plowed, well, we have some answers for you. Still ahead, roadways take priority in a snow emergency.
With everyone stocking up for the storm, what's left on store shelves? A live report is next.
It's time for your Tri-State Quality Ford Dealers Savings Bowl year-end clearance, where you'll score giant savings on every vehicle in stock, like $1,000 cash back or 0.9% financing on Escort, the smartest choice in a stylish small car. Or get $500 cash or 0.9 on an all-American 99 Contour. But you've got to act fast, so get off the bench, because when the time runs out, the Savings Bowl year-end clearance is over. Check out the lineup that's built to last, only at your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer.
Books,
record magazines,
software,
CDs,
cassettes,
video,
half-price books. I can find anything I wanted here.
The Stephen King and the Robin Cook and the Michael Crichton and Anne Rice, they've got them.
They've got first editions, they've got old books, they've got new books, and they're all at a really great price.
It's got the best prices of any bookstore I've ever been to and the best selection.
Why would you pay more for the same thing? You can get it for less than half-price books.
It's great. It's terrific. Can't be beat. It's a better bookstore.
Half Price Books is my favorite bookstore.
Imagine TV. It's all under one roof. The Mercury you want and the values you want now during Mercury year-end bonus time. Buy or lease a rugged 99 Mountaineer with your choice of powerful V6 or V8 and we'll pay your first month's payment. Buy now and get $500 cash back. Or lease a 99 Villager with its standard fourth door and we'll throw in the Mercury Maintenance Care Program at no extra charge. Don't wait. Get to your Mercury dealer today because year-end bonus time ends January 4th. Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
And in financial news, stocks are plummeting. For more on that story, live.
Choose the wrong wireless service?
Winston, get me a phone that works.
With AirTouch, you get coverage you can count on. Excuse me. Who knows? It could change your life.
Ugh.
AirTouch.
Pay only $5.99 until 2000, plus get 100 free minutes, free activation, and a free phone.
WLWT Storm Center 5 weather, sponsored by your local Tri-State GMC truck dealers.
Well, when a winter storm hits, you certainly want to know which streets will be plowed first. Here's a quick look at some of what we found around the Tri-State. Of course, Interstate 71, 75, and 275 are the top priority and first to be cleared. Then the trucks move on to some of the area's bigger streets. They probably won't get to all the secondary streets until tomorrow. In Kentucky, expect the area around Florence Mall, for example, to be in good shape as crews focus on main Boone County roadways. In Kenton County, your best bet is roads like 236, 1072, Route 16 and 17. Campbell County, pretty much the same, with big roadways like 471 getting first attention there. Well, while highway crews take to the roads, many of you probably took to your sidewalk or driveway. Thousands of people in the Tri-State got out the shovels, went to work today. But the big question here,
wonder if it's worth the time, if it's going to snow and ice over. That's kind of my feeling.
well, if you did wait to shovel, you might actually be glad. When the ice freezes over again tonight, the snow left in your sidewalks now might help be better traction for you.
So were you smart enough to stock up on food supplies before the winter storm? Well, those who waited until today to do their shopping may have waited too long. WLWT Eyewitness News 5's Wendy Cicchetti is in Crescent Springs right now. Wendy, is anything still in stock?
Actually, Elena, they have quite a bit of items here, but the fact is that they're going to be closing early, not necessarily because of the weather conditions outside, but because of the conditions inside. You see, they have to clean and wax the floors because of all the foot traffic that they saw here today. Now, this certainly was not an isolated case, what they did see here today, because many businesses that were able to open in the tri-state today saw customers, believe it or not.
Nothing but crumbs on the counters in this spot at Keller's IGA.
Why isn't there bread?
The weather kept many delivery drivers from completing their routes this afternoon. Another void on aisle 11. The store sold out of 150 bags of rock salt by 4 p.m. The rest of the store's staples remained stocked.
I was stranded, but I live in Clifton, and that's why I moved here. It's very convenient just to walk down the street.
Business was so brisk, 2 registers fizzled out.
The weather isn't just affecting the business here at Keller's, it's also affecting the environment. This is a leak caused by the heavy wet snow that's sitting on the roof.
For those able to shovel out, dining out was an option. Service was slow for a reason.
So far, people have been coming in.
Now, are you short-staffed or do you have enough people?
Right now, we're short-staffed.
A lot of people couldn't get into work.
Yes.
On what would normally be a busy Saturday, the halls of the Tri-County Mall were bare, with a brave shopper here and there.
Because I know tomorrow's going to be worse.
Now, the Service Plus IGA here in Crescent Springs is also out of rock salt and fire logs. They hope to have those items restocked on Monday, and they will reopen here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Live in Crescent Springs, Wendy Cicchetti, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
All right, thanks a lot, Wendy. Well, the food stores aren't the only businesses clearing shelves. Take a look. Movie rental stores are trying to keep up with the crowd. Some Blockbuster locations will even waive late fees if the weather is keeping you and the video stuck at home. But call first. Not all stores participate. Well, in case you do get out, here's a look at the top 5 movie rentals for this first weekend in January. Number 1, Armageddon, followed by Dr. Doolittle and The Negotiator. 6 Days and 7 Nights is number 4. The 5th most popular rental is Sliding Doors. Well, the Reds were showing off their new uniforms today at Reds Fest.
And they want to know how fans think they look, so check them out next in sports.
There is no reason to wait any longer to get into a new Corolla. Toyotathon's 20th anniversary is on now, and boy, were you smart to wait. Toyota has just announced the lowest lease deal of the year on Corolla. Through January 4th, you can get a well-equipped Corolla for just $159 a month. That's $159 a month for Corolla. The biggest celebration of the year is going on now. Don't miss Toyotathon's 20th anniversary, now through January 4th at your Toyota dealer.
In the blink of an eye, WLWT Eyewitness News 5. The news team that's first with the questions, First with the answer. Fast with the most complete coverage of the day's big story. Accurate with the news team that covers and uncovers stories that affect you. Because news breaks in the blink of an eye. Count on Eyewitness News 5. First, fast, accurate.
There's a celebration going on at your Jeep dealer. It's the Jeep Awards event, honoring the all-new Grand Cherokee Limited, named 4x4 of the Year and 4-Wheeler of the Year. So we're celebrating with a Jeep Cherokee Sport lease of just $269 a month with all this at no extra charge. Or choose Wrangler starting under 15 grand. Hey, deals like this don't just fall out of the sky. So hurry in before January 4th when this great lease celebration ends. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
The Kentucky Wildcats have already played some of the best teams in the country. The Cats opened up SEC play this afternoon. The Florida Gators traveled to Rupp for a date with the champs. Former UK assistant Billy Donovan, now the head man at Florida. Some nice passing by the Cats early. Big Michael Bradley flips in the 2 from inside. They come right back. When Scott Padgett spots up beyond the arc and knocks it home, Tubby likes that one then. Freshman Tayshaun Prince gets in the flow, the steal, then the two-hand slam at the other end. Your final from Lexington, 93-58, the Cats in a blowout. Some college scores today. Miami takes care of Western Michigan, 80-62. Northern Kentucky all over Missouri St. Louis, 78-64. And the Buckeyes win in overtime against Wisconsin, 78-74. And Louisville falls to Michigan State, 69-57. Some NFL news to pass along. The Associated Press has named Atlanta Falcons head man Dan Reeves as the NFL Coach of the Year. Reeves led the Falcons to a 14-2 record, which is the best in team history. Now in Texas Stadium, the NFC wildcard game, Arizona and Dallas. Jake the Snake in the first quarter stays alive. Great catch by Frank Sanders. That was a 59-yard completion. Adrian Morrell would score to make it 7-0 Cards. Then in the third, the cardiac Cards take control. Plummer rolls out and hooks up with a wide-open Larry Centers out of the backfield. They advance with a 20-7 drubbing of the hapless Cowboys. In the AFC, the Bills and the Dolphins met down in Miami. A record-setting day for Eric Moulds. 9 receptions, 240 yards. That one goes for 32. That would tie the game at 14, but Dan Marino answers. He hits Lamar Thomas 24-14. Now, under 20 seconds to play, Doug Flutie looking to make his magic work, loses the ball. Miami recovers. The Dolphins hold on to win 24-17 in South Florida. Now the Reds are set to get a surprise guest at the conclusion of Reds Fest tomorrow at the Convention Center. Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench will appear between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Now at Reds Fest today, the team unveiled their new uniforms. It was a chance for fans to get autographs and pictures with their favorite Reds players, as well as take part in various clinics put on by the team. Reds Fest ends tomorrow at 4 p.m. The Clones at the Crown taking on the Milwaukee Admirals. Cyclones on the power play. Todd Simon would get the puck from the blue line and lets one rip. It cuts through traffic into the net. 2-0 Clones. 2 goals early in that game in the first. Your final, the Clones win it 3-1. Their first win in regulation at home since November 15th. And the Ducks beat St. John's tonight 3-0. And in the Orange Bowl, Florida all over Syracuse, 28-3 there in the fourth quarter.
Wow, and you had a lot of games canceled today with this weather.
Yeah, all the high school stuff.
Good thing you ended on that ice, because we're going to see a lot of that overnight, right, Tom?
That's right. We're watching temperatures right now dropping below freezing. And look at the 5-day. And as you look at this, keep in mind we have snow falling right now. It'll likely continue for a couple of hours, up to an additional inch accumulation possible tonight through tomorrow. Temperatures actually going to be a big story as well during the next couple of days. Falling throughout the day into the teens. Wind chills tomorrow and Monday will be well below zero. We're talking 0 to 20 degrees below zero during the next couple of days. And Monday night, actual temperatures, you probably noticed it on the 5-day, down to around 0 for the overnight low. So.
My goodness.
Bundle up.
Exactly.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks a lot, and thank you for staying up with us. Keep it on Eyewitness News 5 for the latest weather information.
Evelyn Robertson and Don Ward will be here tomorrow morning starting at 7 with all your closings and weather information. So keep warm and keep safe. Good night.
It's time for the Savings Bowl year-end clearance at your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer, and you'll score giant savings like $1,000 cash back or 1.9 financing on a 99 Ford Ranger, and get $1,000 cash or 0.9 on the all-new 99 Windstar, the only minivan to earn the 5-star safety rating 5 years in a row. Get off the bench and check out the lineup that's built to last at Built Ford Tough, because when the time runs out, the Savings Bowl year-end clearance is over. Only at your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer.
Starving Artist Art Expo 99 is this Sunday. Thousands of beautiful original oil paintings on canvas by professional artists. Giant sofa-sized paintings as low as $19. Smaller accent paintings from $7. Absolutely no painting over $49. It's an art expo and sale this Sunday, 11 to 4.
In Cincinnati at the Holiday Inn North and the Holiday Inn Eastgate. Also in Fort Mitchell at the Holiday Inn. This Sunday only, 11 to 4.
Right now, as most of the flights have either arrived or departed for the evening. To my left, this is the arrivals board, and you can see not many cancellations remain at this hour, but the word canceled, actually, as you see here, there are a few early morning. Here's a Chicago O'Hare flight 888 for 8:05 a.m. That does remain canceled, as do a few others. And let me tell you, this word was a very common sight at the airport today.
The little shuttle take you to the hotel, shuttle pick you up and bring you back to the airport.
Rita and Leonard Stevens started their journey this morning in Atlanta. They're trying to get to Wisconsin, but when they arrived in Cincinnati today, they found all flights home had been canceled, so they'll be spending the night.
They've got us a hotel room and dinner, so we'll be okay.
You make the best of it anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess so.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I don't want to be stuck, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Huge snowplows cleared the airport's 3 runways, but because of problems with wind, only the east-west runway was used for landings for much of the day. That caused dozens of cancellations and delays, and every plane that was able to take off had to first undergo de-icing.
And hope we make it home.
Van Leer was scheduled to fly to Cleveland last night.
And that flight was canceled, so we stayed in the Comfort Inn. They gave us a voucher and told us to come back at 3 o'clock today. That flight was canceled also.
Hundreds of travelers found themselves in the same predicament. Lines were long as clerks juggled reservations. Many, like Ron and Danielle Burrell, found themselves camping out in the airport terminal. They tried their best to make themselves comfortable and occupy the time.
We're going to camp here, and then they don't make these seats too comfortable, so you can't get too comfortable. You know, you can't sleep or anything. So we're going to watch the ball game and just see if they can find us a flight.
Now, as for area airports, the airport in Indianapolis remains shut down at this hour. Columbus, Dayton, Lexington, and Louisville are open, but they do also have some delays and cancellations. Now, as for all of the passengers that you saw there that weren't able to get a flight out of Cincinnati today, and there are hundreds of them, they have been put up at area hotels. I've called more than a half dozen hotels near the airport. They are all booked tonight. These people hope that they can get out of here tomorrow and go on with their travel plans. That is if the weather cooperates. Reporting live from the airport, Lynn Giroux, Channel 9 News.
And for passengers who want to leave tomorrow, I guess call ahead and see how the flights are doing.
That would be a good idea because some areas are still having problems.
All right, thanks. Some cities. All right, thanks. Well, the city of Cincinnati has a snow emergency in effect, and that affects your car. That means any vehicles parked on snow emergency routes must be moved to make way for the snowplows. The city says that they are aggressively towing cars, and the fine is $56 in addition to the hassle of finding and retrieving your vehicle. Now, earlier today, downtown streets were fairly quiet when the snow was coming down. Most folks just taking it slow. About the only sounds you heard were the plows running outside of local hotels. We caught up with Yvette, who's a local driver, and got her thoughts on hitting the road.
I would say take your time, drive slowly, and keep a really big distance.
Again, remember, Cincinnati snow emergency in effect. If you park in the wrong place, you will be towed. In northern Kentucky, this van was in the wrong place on Kentucky 16 in Taylor Mill. Police say the driver tried to pass a car that had pulled off the side of the road and instead ran head-on into this semi-truck that was full of heating oil.
Coming southbound here on 16 and
there was like 4 vehicles, and he come around the curve, and he just started sliding, and he slid directly into me and had no direction to go. So I locked up and stopped the truck, but he hit me head on.
But for many families, especially the kids, this was the way to spend the day. The hill behind R.C. Hinsdale School in Edgewood provided a perfect place for snowboarders and toboggans out there. Look at that. The family dog even got into the act to enjoy the snow today. Leading up to this storm, the forecast called for more snow the further north that you live. So today we sent our Bob Holtzman up to the northern part of our viewing area in the Butler County area to report on the storm there. And here's his report.
Today, the most challenging thing about doing a story in Butler County was getting there. Once we arrived, we found plenty of snow and plenty of people in Westchester in pretty good spirits. Fritz Turton finally had a chance to show off his new snowblower.
Well, when I bought it, everyone laughed at me. They said it's going to sit in the garage and it's not going to be used and you're going to trip over it and you're going to be unhappy with it. But today I look like I'm pretty smart.
Especially compared to Matt Leedy, who spent more than 2 hours shoveling his driveway.
It's definitely time to make friends with our neighbor and get some use of that snowblower.
By this afternoon in Hamilton, much of the snow had turned to slush. And on Interstate 75, it seemed things were returning to normal. But that was this afternoon.
It got a whole lot more icy and a whole lot colder when the sun went down, so a lot of people decided to pull over and stop at some local hotels. And when you see the difference between what it looks like outside and what it looks like inside, who can blame them?
I thought the hills were going to be worse, like Tennessee and Kentucky, because they said there was going to be freezing rain, but it's this way, so.
So the Michigan-bound Reinhardt stopped at the Holiday Inn. The kids went swimming. The adults went nowhere. By tonight, the problem was rain. Even after a second thought, Ashley Mitchell was headed for a night of skiing in Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, we thought about it because it was raining here and we thought it was going to be pretty bad. So we called up there, but they said it wasn't raining. So we're hoping not too bad up there.
It was one of those days today when we had a little bit of everything all at once. In Butler County, Bob Holtzman, Channel 9 News.
Snow accumulations appear to be higher west of Cincinnati and southeast Indiana. Just look at this wave of snow this plow created on Interstate 74 as it cleared the highway. US 52 in West Harrison, passable by late morning. Sandy Davis says there's about 7 inches of snow in front of her home.
Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. We had a lot of drifts up on my deck. I couldn't open my front door this morning. We got it out and snowed, and we just have got out. We just been out about 30 minutes ago.
Just down the street, the snow was a motivator for Betty Robinson. She always watched her son go sled riding. Today, she joined in. She says the worst part is climbing back up the hill. In Claremont County, this is Main Street in downtown Batavia this afternoon, and you can see the streets were cleared, traffic minimal. And this is the scene in Williamsburg, repeated hundreds of times in the tri-state today. William and Cheyenne Hamilton say it took just a few minutes for them to build this snowman. Oh, the name of the snowman? Oh, it's Frosty. Frosty, of course. Folks in Westchester did their best to cope with the bad conditions. You can see the snow blowing earlier today, and that kept most people off the roads in the morning. Very few drivers. Rebecca Bowman had to go out, and she drove on Tylersville Road.
It's pretty bad. Even though they plowed, it snowed over pretty quick.
Other folks got out their shovels in order to clear the front walk and the driveway. Most said that shoveling wasn't too strenuous because the snow fairly early was dry. Of course, it got wet later on. If you think it's cold outside now, try living through this with no heat throughout the storm. Neighbors at the Hawaiian Terrace apartments say they've had no heat for a month. Today, you can see your breath inside one room. Residents are using their ovens for heat, and they say managers installed combination heat and air units that overloaded circuits if you turn them out.
Everything is shutting off, so we're limited to what we can do, and they won't help us do anything to keep us, our children warm.
There's no heat anywhere in these buildings. There's just ovens is what people are running to try to keep their apartments warm.
How long before these people might have heat?
We're going to try to get them going today. If not, stores open up first thing Monday morning. We understand, we apologize what's going on, but we are trying to take care of the problem.
The residents say the owner shouldn't have waited until now to fix the problem. Many have had to stay with friends or family members in the cold weather. Storms also creating major problems around our region of the nation in the Midwest. A combination of snow and high winds created terrible conditions in Indianapolis and in northern Indiana. 8 inches of snow fell in Indianapolis. Many cars and vehicles stuck there. 34 counties declared snow emergencies in Indiana today. The winter storm pretty much shutting down Chicago O'Hare's airport. Almost all flights canceled. People camping out anywhere they can. Many airlines saying folks might not be able to fly out of O'Hare until Tuesday, so call ahead. The same weather system also brought high winds and damage to Texas. This is a large oak tree that fell on one home in the Houston area because of a rainstorm. And nearby, lightning strikes tore through roofs and caused several fires. Again, that was in Texas. So to recap our weather picture right now, we are getting dangerous travel conditions at this hour as the temperature falls below freezing, turning the wet roads into icy ones. Our 9 News team continues to update all area closings for you, and we expect to receive notice of a few school closings beginning tomorrow evening as well. So 9 News will have the updated snowbird school closings on your screen every half hour on Sunday as they come in. We also expect a lot of church closings tomorrow. We will have those on the air as well. Meantime, much more ahead tonight on 9 News at 11 o'clock. We'll show you how local firefighters saved kittens today after a house fire.
Why is that?
I figure if I take 20 miles an hour all the way out there, I'll be there on time.
Now let's point this out. Some guys who were out in this mess were the pizza delivery guys. That's right, we know from personal experience because this one was dropped off. Go ahead, take that one, Tom. Here at the station, those guys got a very good tip. Here's the ironic point of all this. This pizza is actually called the Heat Wave, and don't we all wish that were the case. We're live on the near north side. I'm James Ford, 6 News.
Probably frozen by now, James.
You got that right.
Thanks very much.
Right,
Thanks very
and Tom
much.
Trial.
Well, the same storm system that pounded Indiana is also responsible for travel headaches across the Midwest.
That's right. To our northwest, more than 700 plows are prowling the streets of the Windy City tonight. Chicago's Magnificent Mile, obviously closed, as is busy O'Hare Airport. Some 2 feet of snow is expected to hit the Chicago area before this storm stops.
The wicked weather is blamed for this 60-car pileup in Wisconsin. 1 person died in the chain reaction crash. More than a foot of snow slowed rescue crews.
At the other end of the spectrum, flash flooding, the problem in the Sunshine State. 31 inches of rain soaked Palm Beach today and flooded more than 100 homes. Plenty of washouts and sinkholes were reported, but no injuries. Oh, to be in a tank top.
I know. I think I'd rather deal with a flood than all this snow and ice.
Yeah, what we don't have always looks a little bit better.
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah, with the sunshine coming down, that.
.6 inches of snow, the second heaviest snowfall in Chicago history. How's the city faring? I'm Jim Cantori in downtown Chicago. We'll give you a live report in just a moment.
And I'm Mike Seidel in Albany, New York, with sleet and freezing rain continuing across the upstate this afternoon. Roads are slippery. I'll be back in a moment with a live report.
And good morning. Welcome to this special edition of Weather Center on this Sunday morning. I'm Rick Griffin, and our winter weather specialist Paul Cosin will be joining us to describe the situation in just a moment. First of all, this big winter storm causing major travel headaches this morning in the Northeast and the Midwest. These scenes are from Hackensack, New Jersey, where ice is blamed for this multi-car pileup on Interstate 80 earlier this morning. In Detroit, high winds and more than a foot of snow are making travel impossible in some areas. And the situation isn't going to improve much today because although the snow may stop falling, high winds will cause blowing and drifting. Well, we have Weather Channel crews in the Northeast and the Midwest keeping track of what the system's bringing their way. We have the snow and the ice to talk about. In Albany, New York, that's where there's been sleet and freezing rain this morning. Standing by, Mike Seidel. And in Chicago, which has recorded its second biggest snowfall on record, we have Jim Cantori. And that's where we're going to start, in the snowy, windy and cold Windy City. Jim, good morning.
Yeah, it's about 10 degrees colder this morning, Rick, and we had a little clear sky last night, so that'll allow those temperatures to drop even more with the fresh snowpack. And the winds are starting to pick up again, so wind chill's dangerously cold today as they get well below zero. But in all honesty, with a storm of this magnitude, Chicago has fared very, very well. Yeah, a mixed blessing that it was a holiday weekend. For the traveler, a nightmare, but for the resident and the folks who had to go to work, usually on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, this was really not an issue, and we should see things get back to normal pretty quickly here in Chicago. Check out the roads here. This is just amazing to me. Now, this may not be representative of the entire metropolitan area, but you can see they've done a wonderful job in scraping the roads. They are pretty much clear this morning from what we see. But, of course, there are always those exceptions, and you'll have to deal with that in the suburbs and also Lakeshore Drive, where the winds are a little bit stronger, and we do expect blowing and drifting of the snow. Only 800 power outages, Rick, probably contributed to A, the fact that they have people on standby, and B, this was a very light, fluffy snow, and that did not, of course, cause too many problems with weight on power lines and also trees near power lines that fell on them. So I think all in all, the city's fared pretty well. The airport situation, they're trying to get things back to normal slowly this morning, but there are still some canceled flights, and you may want to call ahead as well. But a lot of people just said, heck, I'm staying away from the airport. That's exactly what they did. And believe it or not, that's going to help expedite the process of getting people out of here today. Unless, of course, you are heading from Chicago to the east, where the weather is miserable. And to find out just how bad it is, let's go ahead and find out as we take you to the Capital District, Albany, New York, and Mike Seidel with a live report. Mike, good morning.
And Jim, this morning we're dealing with primarily a sleet storm now in Albany and the surrounding area. In fact, Albany has the coldest temperature in the entire state. And the main reason for that is we're sitting in a valley, and this very cold, dense air is just sitting here, nothing to scour it out. So we don't think temperatures are going to get near freezing today. They'll stay in the 20s, rise from the teens into the 20s, and that means anything that does fall will freeze, whether it's sleet or freezing rain. The roadways behind me are very slippery. The plows have been out today scraping and putting down a whole lot of salt as we look out towards the Hudson River and out towards the New York State Thruway and 787, I-787. Very little traffic, so that's good. That'll cut down on any potential for accidents. But we're going to be dealing with this sleet and freezing rain until at least the early or mid part of the afternoon. At that point, that should be it for this particular system, except for a few lingering flurries tonight or tomorrow. New York City in great shape. Philadelphia, Washington, no problems. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. It's in the interior areas where you need to be careful. We'll keep you posted from Albany as the sleet continues to come down. Rick?
Thanks a lot for that update, Mike. We'll check back with you soon. Meantime, let's come back to the Forecast Center and talk to our winter weather specialist, Paul Cosin. Paul, welcome. And as we go to the travel map, let's begin in the major cities. We have a little bit of bad news for Boston this morning. It's still below freezing, particularly in the western suburbs. Hartford's going to be icy, but good news and bad news in New York City. It's windy. It's going to be really rainy for the next couple of hours, but temperatures have risen quickly in the last hour or two.
Right. The good news in New York.
And where you are and Gary, so it's a very serious situation.
They're running out of room.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
And from Boone to Marion County and the Department of Public Works, where Marilyn Carter joins us. Good morning, Marilyn. What's new?
Good morning, Galen. The situation is much, much better in Marion County, and if you need to get around, you can, especially on primary roads. So work crews are still out. This 5 a.m. shift is out there plowing away to try to help you make your way around the city. The next step is assessment, trying to figure out what's next. Gary Vandergrift, good morning to you again. You're going to be out, lots of officials out, evaluating the street scene, because really the next step now is school and garbage pickup.
Correct. We're going to be talking to the school districts and seeing what we need to try and do to get them in school tomorrow. And when we make some evaluations this morning, that's going to probably hinge on how we utilize our equipment, whether we keep them plowing snow or whether we go to trash collection tomorrow as far as city equipment. We're looking towards, and we're going to try our best to have schools open and regular trash collection on the first day of new routes for everybody tomorrow.
So that's easier said than done, because some of the plows, the rubber tips on the side streets and all that, it gets complicated, right?
It sure does. We have to be able to utilize the right type of equipment. We have to not damage any of our equipment and stay with it like that. And it's a chess game, and we're moving pieces pretty quickly right now.
Okay, thanks very much, Gary Vandergriff. So it's a kind of a wait and see and evaluate situation here. Mayor Goldsmith is expected to be back at 1 o'clock, talk to these folks again, and see where we go from here. I'm Marilyn Carter reporting live at the City Garage. Back to you.
Thank you, Marilyn.
A lot of waiting going on at the airport as well. That's where our Mark Thompson is. Mark?
Yes, the situation right here is changing just a little bit. The lines here at ATA have died down, and mainly the two reasons for that is because, one, a lot of flights have been canceled, and two, they're getting people on the plane. So at least the situation for those who are flying is good. But we do have an update on Delta Airlines situation. Here joining us is Paul Evans. He's a supervisor on duty right now. What is the situation with Delta at this point?
At this time, we have we're resuming operations with our 11 o'clock departures. We have two airplanes due in approximately 10 o'clock, one from Atlanta, one from Cincinnati. As far as I know right now, those airplanes should be arriving here on schedule approximately 10 o'clock. Then they will go back to Atlanta and Cincinnati respectively at 11 and 11:10.
How have these delays been throughout this whole period here?
Technically, there have been no delays. They're all cancellations. We suspended operations. Remind me what today is. It was Friday evening, I believe, with our overnight flights. We did not bring those airplanes in here. So effectively, we had no flights yesterday at all. Our overnighters last night obviously were not here, so we had no morning departures. Now these first two arrivals will be the resumption of our service. As far as delays on those, it's speculative to know right now if we'll be able to get them out on time.
And real quickly, you said part of the problem was just getting the planes free from ice.
Once they arrive here, it is snowing, so they'll probably be de-iced. Absolutely, they'll be de-iced before they leave here again, but we will attempt to operate them as close to schedule as possible, and de-icing is factored into that, of course.
Paul, thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate the chance to talk to you.
Situations change by the minute here at the airport. Call your individual airlines. A lot of flights are leaving today. It's a lot better than it was yesterday. Again, they still have one runway operating all the time, and they're trying to get two up right now. But people are pretty much checking in by the minute to see if their flights are still either delayed or canceled, or if they're still leaving. But it's a little bit better than it was yesterday. Okay. Reporting from Indianapolis International Airport, Mark Thompson, 6 News.
Thanks, Mark. We'll check back. Well, 6 News and Storm Team 6 have live team coverage for you of this winter storm.
That's right. We're going to be with you until 10:30 this morning, so keep it tuned right here to Channel 6.
And we have continuing coverage throughout the day. Tonight at 6 and 11 on Channel 6 and at 10 o'clock.
About noon yesterday. We were lucky in a sense, it may not have seemed like it to you at the time, to get some of the freezing rain and ice that we had in our area. Take a look at this as we put it into motion for you, and you'll see that low pressure area kind of ride up to the northeast and bring a cool front with it. But before that happened, we were in an area of some sleet and some freezing rain. But up here to the north, that never happened. They just got all snow, so there's not that crust of ice on top of it, and so things are blowing and drifting around considerably in that area. For that reason, they've got a blowing and drifting snow advisory from north of Lafayette to north of Kokomo and around Logansport to north of Marion today, and that will continue all day long. For us, it's just a little bit of light snow on top of the ice that we've had already, and this is the way it looks as we dig out this morning. Temperature right now at 9:11 is 17 degrees. The wind chill has been running right around 12 below all morning long, and that wind almost 20 miles an hour, so it just feels uncomfortable heading outside, in addition to the blowing and drifting problems it's causing elsewhere. Some of the snow totals for you, that is 18 inches out of Newtown, 14 inches back in Marshall. Go farther to the north and to the west generally, and that's where you saw more accumulation, 14 inches in Kokomo. Here's another reset for you as to what we're doing right now. Getting some snow in South Bend and Fort Wayne that is limiting visibility somewhat there. And temperatures start out this morning in the teens, and it looks like we have to wait on this low to really move completely out of the area to the northeast before we lose some of the wraparound moisture and this cool air that's funneling down, and keeps us in the teens today with the winds at times up to 30 miles an hour. There will be periods of light snow, and then flurries tonight, a colder low of 10, and tomorrow pretty much the same drill. flurries should be wrapping up by the end of the day. Tuesday is quiet, and then there's another chance of seeing some light snow around, at least the way it looks right now, for Wednesday and Thursday, but nothing above freezing. As we try to get above everything that we have seen Mother Nature do so far this weekend, we'll give you another update from the Tracking Center soon. Now back to the anchor desk, Galen and Kevin.
Alrighty, Paul, thanks a lot. We just got some great news.
That's right. State police tell us that I-65 north of Indianapolis will be opening any moment now. We're going to go live back to Boone County to give you the latest. You are looking at a live picture at a truck stop in Lebanon where traffic has been backed up because of the road closure. It is 9:12 and you're watching 6 News Sunday morning extended snow coverage. Reiterate to you, state police tell us that I-65 north of Indianapolis should be opening up any moment now, and we will be going live back to Boone County in a few minutes. Our coverage of this year's big storm continues. There's no denying it is nasty outside, but the storm still doesn't compare with what we had to deal with more than 20 years ago. Take a look at these pictures. This was Indianapolis during the blizzard of '78 when the entire city was virtually shut down. The blizzard delivered more than 15 inches of snow, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour with wind chill temperatures sometimes dipping below 50 degrees. So how does this year's storm compare? Well, nearly 10 inches of snow fell in Indianapolis over this weekend. Our temperatures didn't dip much past 18 degrees and wind gusts stayed relatively tame at 15 to 30 miles per hour. Here's what constitutes a blizzard, according to the National Weather Service. Temperatures at 10 degrees Fahrenheit or below, winds of at least 35 miles or higher, along with falling and blowing snow that reduces visibility to less than a quarter of a mile for several hours. Now, by the way, the blizzard of '78 is the only recorded blizzard in this state's history.
Many of you are probably waking up and finding your morning newspaper isn't out there right now. The Indianapolis Star would like its subscribers to know the winter weather is hindering their delivery efforts. We will have your lottery numbers, your weather forecast, and all the weather-related news for you. Now, the Star says it will try to deliver papers in the Indianapolis metro area this morning. At the latest, you'll get it this afternoon. It will not be delivering papers in counties that are under a snow emergency, and right now that number is 44 in central Indiana. Those people won't be getting their papers until Monday or when those snow emergencies are lifted. The best advice in dealing with all this snow is to not travel if you don't have to. Conditions have improved greatly, and the brunt of the snow is already on the ground, even though we're getting some light flakes now. But snow plow crews still have some long hours ahead digging us out here in the Hoosier State. One word of advice, please don't tie up emergency lines with questions about road closings or road conditions. State police have set up this toll-free number for you to call. It's 800-261-7623. You can also go online to find out this same information. This is actually the quickest way to get up-to-the-date information. The address, www.state.in.us/.isp.
Well, Kevin, one Johnson County retail store is stocked with a delivery from Mother Nature this morning. Part of the roof on the Value City store in Greenwood collapsed from the weight of all this weekend's snowfall. The store was shut down at the time. Luckily, no one was inside. A regional official is expected to visit this location later this morning to assess that damage.
We are now going to go live to Boone County, where Sarah Fraden has been all morning. And Sarah, we are told by state police that it's not long before I-65 opens.
Well, that's the word from the state police post in Lafayette. They say that there is just such a backlog of people. As you can see here, there is a very big backlog of people. The parking lot is full here at State Road 334 at the truck stop, and there's also a backlog of people trying to get in both directions, so they've decided to open it up. Now, that doesn't mean that road conditions are good. It's still very slick and snowy and drifting snow, and it is snowing right now, and it's windy, but they say they're going to let people travel at their own risk instead of forcing them to stay here, and I think that's going to make a lot of people happy. In fact, the word has not gotten around yet, or else we will be seeing a mass exodus. I know a lot of people here are listening to us on the radio at 87.7, so while I'm speaking, we may see some people actually start to take off. But I had just talked to a Boone County Sheriff's deputy whose job it was to guard the ramps to northbound I-65, and he didn't even know yet that he was going to be allowed to leave his post and that the roads would be open. But now I hear some cheers going off, and the cars are starting to exit. People here are going to be very happy. Many have been stranded here since late last night. Some people are on their way back from Florida. Many people have jobs to get back to. We've seen lots of kids here, and there are truck drivers with produce who need to make their deliveries. So good news, I-65 will be reopening, but travel at your own risk and go slowly. Be careful. They say road conditions are not great, but they just can't help house all these people who are being stuck here. We're live in Boone County with good news. I'm Sarah Fraden, 6 News.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
6 News Sunday morning continues here. It is 9:18. You're with us on a bitterly cold Sunday morning. It is 17 degrees outside.
Blue skies uncovering a historic snow here in Chicago this morning as 21.6 inches has fallen, enough for second all time. How's the city getting back in shape? We'll let you know on a live report in just a few moments.
I'm Mike Seidel in Albany, New York. As the sleet continues to come down, how will it impact travel and when will it end? I'll have a live report too coming up in just a moment.
And good morning, I'm Rick Griffin. Welcome to this special edition of Weather Center. I'm joined by winter weather specialist Paul Cosin. He'll be with us in just a moment to analyze the situation. In any event, this winter storm causing havoc on the roadways in the Northeast and Midwest. We have some scenes for you from Hackensack, New Jersey, where ice is blamed for a multi-car pileup this morning on Interstate 80. In the Motor City, however, high winds and more than a foot of snowfall are making travel impossible in some areas. Now, while the significant snowfall has ended, blowing and drifting snow will continue to be a problem. And if you're heading out of Detroit towards the western counties of lower Michigan, expect heavy lake effect snows in some locations. All in all, we continue to have a big winter storm to talk about. And we have Weather Channel crews in the field in the Northeast and Midwest keeping track of the storm. First of all, in New York's Capital District, Mike Seidel has been talking about sleet and freezing rain. He'll join us in just a moment. And in Chicago, which has recorded its second biggest snowfall on record, Jim Cantori. And that's where we'll start with you, Jim. What's the latest from Chicago?
Well, Rick, again, as we pan up toward the sky, you can see that we do have the sun back on out today, and that's definitely some good news. Filtered, of course, by some higher level clouds from time to time, and we still have a few flurries floating around here. But all in all, the worst is pretty much over, and it's just plain cold this morning. Temperatures dropping down into the low teens, and our wind chill factor's down around 15 below right now. But the problem is, how are we going to get all this snow off the streets? Well, believe it or not, yesterday we had 700 pieces of sanitation equipment out. Today there's 800, and that extra 100 are payloaders, and a lot of those payloaders are going to come and take a lot of this snow off the side streets and just basically take it out of the city of Chicago. So that's going to be an issue here, probably lasting about a week. It's going to be really tough to get 21 inches of snow out of the downtown area. The airports for the holiday travelers starting to get back to normal. Things are improving there. We're starting to see a lot of people now head out toward O'Hare and Midway to try and catch their flights. But, you know, be patient. Call ahead. There's going to be delays. It's really that simple. No major accidents, Rick, on all the major expressways here in Chicago from this storm. That's absolutely fantastic given a holiday weekend. So you really got to give a big bunch of kudos to all the folks that are out here scraping the roads and keeping them salted. But there's still going to be some slippery spots. There's still going to be some blowing and drifting snow, and we urge you caution if you are heading out. Also, take it easy if you're going to do some shoveling today, because that's where a lot of people, especially elderly and the folks that are out of shape, are going to have a heart attack. So be careful. We don't want that. Let's go ahead and take you into the Northeast, where sleet continues to be a problem in the Capital District this morning. Mike Sedel's there for us with a live report. Good morning, Mike.
And good morning, Jim. And sleet is bouncing all over the place this morning. We're here at the Empire State Plaza in Albany, and it moved in early this morning. Some freezing rain, some sleet, a little bit of snow, but primarily now it's just all sleet. And the road crews have been out. Let me show you what they were doing earlier today, out there scraping, and also they were out there putting a lot of salt down on roads that were already pretty much covered with salt. In fact, they were already white from the salt they used earlier this week with the snow. So they're out there doing their thing. Fortunately, there is not a lot of traffic out on an early Sunday morning holiday weekend. It's cold, 14 degrees, so people are pretty much staying put inside, which is a good idea. Take a look now live at the roadways heading out towards the New York State Thruway. Just a few vehicles kind of crawling along at about 25 or 30 miles an hour. Which is the safe way to be, and don't forget to give yourself some extra distance. Now, we've been very fortunate here in Albany because most of this fallen has been sleet and not freezing rain. Some of your friends and neighbors to the south and southwest of here down towards the Catskills have been getting much more ice, which is going to lead probably to power outages. So far in this area, just a little bit of glaze, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can hold on to this sleet as long as the precipitation is in here for about another 3 or 4 hours. Then we'll be in the clear. But again, all the roadways are slippery nonetheless. Be extra careful. We'll keep you updated right on through midday here in Albany. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and Mike, I should say. And as you mentioned, you're fortunate because even north of you, Mike, there's freezing rain in Burlington, Vermont, and it's very slippery there and getting to be treacherous and bringing back some pretty bad memories of last January when there was a major ice storm there. And also south of you in the Catskill region, lower Hudson Valley and western Connecticut and the Connecticut River Valley of Massachusetts, significant icing at this point. Let's get the latest on what we think is going to happen with this major winter storm. And we turn to Paul Cosin, our winter weather specialist, for the latest. Paul, we know the interior valleys are still well below freezing, major ice problems, but near the coast, the winds have picked up and some mild Atlantic Ocean air is moving into New York City, but it's coming along. How much longer do you think it's going to last, and where would you suspect the most severe, most treacherous conditions will be located?
Well, the most treacherous conditions will probably be found throughout much of the year.
But if you know a little bit of Chicago history, you know that it's very politically correct to be prepared for a snowstorm, and that's exactly what they were. There's no doubt that this city was ready. And the good news is, of course, that the forecast and the computer models gave us about a 5-day lead time here with this one. Let's go ahead and look behind us as we look at the streets. This one being Dearborn Street. You're looking northbound, and you can see how clear it is. They've done a wonderful job in salting and sanding the roads and, of course, doing a lot of scraping. But now we have these huge snow banks that are sitting on the side, and unfortunately some of the cars that were left in the snowbank, which is, or left, I should say, parked on the sides of the roads, are now a part of the snowbank. And that is going to be an issue for them, obviously, as they try and dig that out. And with temperatures going down to 0 tonight, all these snowbanks are going to turn to basically rock, so they're going to have a difficult time in doing so. Airports are getting underway this morning. Rick, O'Hare, Midway starting to release flights and also getting things back to normal there, but there are going to be delays, obviously, with a number of people. They still ask you to call ahead, and don't just think because you show up you're going to be able to get on a plane, because a lot of the flights are filling up quickly. No major accidents on any of the major expressways here in and around Chicago. All those expressways are open. They are snowy and slushy, as are the toll roads, but so far, so good. Things are getting back to normal. And one more thing, Interstate 65 now has been opened from Gary down to Lebanon in Indiana. That is good news, but you will still find a slow go on that interstate. So things slowly getting back to normal. They think they're going to have school for the kids tomorrow, and, well, The holiday looks like it's just about end for everybody. Let's find out how things are faring in the Capital District this morning. We'll go up to Albany, New York with Mike Seidel. Good morning, Mike.
And Jim, this morning we've had the plows out. In fact, you can probably hear one going by right now under the bridge, and did a pretty good job of scraping 2 lanes of road with one plow. That's the first time I've seen that happen. But the roads are still very slippery. The cars going out towards the New York State Thruway doing about 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. This sleet is hard to drive on, but not as hard as freezing rain would be. And we're very fortunate so far right here in Albany that 90% of what's fallen has been sleet and not freezing rain. But still, you need to give yourself some extra distance and some extra time. I want to show you, for those of you who have never seen sleet before, it's just frozen raindrops. And as you can see here on the old 4-wheel drive vehicle, it just kind of bounces off the vehicle, and you can hear it. Here it sounds like kind of like popcorn, but that's what we've got coming down. And when it accumulates to a couple of inches, it's kind of like walking on marble. So you don't get much traction, but more traction than if we had freezing rain. That's the good news. Now there is freezing rain south of here in the Catskills, up in some of the other valleys of New England. There's freezing rain, but so far in Albany, we've been in pretty good shape. We expect whatever's falling to taper off early this afternoon, and then it's just back to cold wintry weather for Monday and Tuesday. Again, the plows are out, but you need to be very careful if you're traveling anywhere in the interior part of the Northeast. However, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, good news, temperatures above freezing, and things are looking good, at least on that section of I-95 for you holiday travelers. We'll keep you updated as the sleet continues to pelt the area through this morning and into early this afternoon here in Albany. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Well, down around New York City, we have some exceptionally heavy rainfall to tell you about, and to describe the situation, we have our winter weather specialist, Paul Cosin. Paul, anytime you get half an inch of rain in 9 minutes, that's intense rainfall.
Right, one can only assume that street traffic is having a bit of a problem with rain falling that fast. Looks like at Newark Airport, they received about 9/10 of an inch of rain in just 1 hour, and about 1.5 inches of rain in only a 3-hour period. And most of that extremely heavy rain has now moved east of the city, but there still will be a period of moderate to heavy rain for the next couple of hours.
Okay, we're going to look at that radar in just a moment and show the folks just exactly why the heavy rain has come down. But let's talk about the ice now, because it looks like a real serious situation this morning in parts of southeast New York, Catskill region, parts of the lower Hudson Valley, into Connecticut. We noticed Bradley Field north of Hartford in the low 20s with moderate freezing rain, and up around Westfield, Massachusetts, it's 19 degrees, and some very heavy rainfall is headed in that direction.
Right, as a matter of fact, Stewart Field, which is just west of Poughkeepsie, New York, reported heavy freezing rain and 28 degrees during the last hour. So we're still seeing some pockets of very intense frozen precipitation occurring through portions of New York and portions of interior New England.
Well, the cold air is real shallow down in here.
There's a lot of traffic out there, but they're not moving as quickly as usual.
No. There's no such word as fast on these roads. You just don't do that because of all the ice that's underneath some of the snow. And we've had snow squalls out here, so that all of a sudden you're into snow and then you drive out of it. So I mean, it's changing. It's ever changing. Yesterday we had the snow, and then we had those ice pellets and all of that, and then more snow, and then it turned to rain. Well, today we've got the winds. If you can see between me and the camera how the snow is just, going across like this out here. You can understand why there are problems out here, especially outside of Indianapolis.
And that is new snow. It's not just blowing snow. It's new snow and blowing snow.
And it feels like new snow.
Okay, thanks, Ruth Ann Gordon, reporting from I-65 in Zionsville. We'll check back with you.
And from the north to the south, let's go back now to Chopper 8. And Keith McCutcheon is on US 31 South, just south of the Marion Johnson County line. Johnson County, of course, was declared a state of snow emergency yesterday, and this is one of the reasons why Value City, the roof caved in. Is that right, Keith?
Yes, Rick and Shannon, you can see from our picture right now that the center part of the store lost a big segment of their roof, and it's caved in, and you can kind of see back in there some of the supplies and different things that they had in their aisles. And it's really a great thing that nobody was here, because obviously there would have been people injured. And you can see on the sign right now, they say they're now hiring. And I think that's probably going to apply to construction crews to come back and try to rebuild this, because it's a big hole out here. A lot of snow has gotten in there, so that's going to be a lot more additional damage just because of snow, and it's really a huge hole inside this thing, and I don't know whether it was from the weight of the snow or what actually caused it, but a big hole has fell in here, and again, nobody was hurt. This is right across from the mall on 31, the Greenwood Park Mall. There are some cars out here. They have a fire truck, an ambulance crew out here, and some other cars out here, so they are evaluating this, I think, at this time to determine what they're going to do next, but it's really a big problem for Value City out here, Rick and Shanna.
And Keith, that looks like the section from right inside the front door all the way straight back to the girls department. That's a huge section of the store, but it looks like the furniture store to the south of that area still looks intact for now, and that's there's a lot of expensive furniture there, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, the Value City furniture store, that portion of it, there are no problems there. There's a discovery zone on the other side of the building here. No problems there. It was just this one section right down in the middle of the store, which obviously had there been people here, there would have been a lot of problems there because that would have been a well-traveled area there.
If you could keep those pictures up for us for just a minute. We're going to be joined live on the telephone by Dwayne Burgess. He is the Public Information Officer in Johnson County. And Dwayne, there are good reasons why they declare a state of emergency, snow emergencies in these counties, especially the rural counties. This is one good example why. 10 inches of snow, ice on top of that, the roof caves in. What are the conditions like down there in Johnson County right now?
Right now, a lot of our roads are still ice covered. We do have some roads that are still closed because of drifting. We're just requesting the people right now just to stay off of those roads so that the county highway can get those cleared. But with the open fields, it's just caused the drifting to be quite bad.
Describe some of the conditions there, the county roads, the city roads. What are the difference? And tell folks why they should stay off these roads.
In the city, you've got the buildings that will block the wind, but these open fields and the gullies and some of the hills and valleys that you've got, it's just caused the wind just to close the roads. It just allows the free flowing of the snow to build up on the highway.
And I know if you must get around down there, a four-wheel drive vehicle is advisable. But I even saw, Dwayne, down there yesterday, a four-wheel drive stuck. I saw a snowplow stuck. So you're not out of the woods if you think you can get by with four-wheel drive.
No, we've got all of our Crown Vics parked, or our Caprices, and all the officers that are working are out in four-wheel drives.
All right, we're going to thank you for calling in. We might get back with you a little bit later, Dwayne. Right now it looks pretty snow-covered down there in Johnson County. And this is the Greenwood area, of course.